Hello, everyone, and we are back. Welcome back to part two of the winter finale, not spring finale.
Did I put
Ethan,
winter?
yeah, you put
Oh, I
spring.
put spring. Son of a bitch. All right, I'll edit that real quick. Give me a moment. Keep
Yes, this
talking.
is the winter part two of the winter finale. If you're just with us, like about 10 minutes or so ago, we gave away our various awards for the staff awards, cafe awards. And now for part two, it is time to bring up our top 10 of the season, along with some honorable mentions. And we are going to close it off with what we are watching for spring. Gentlemen, again, it is fun to have you all doing this for part one. And now,
Oh yeah.
are you ready to wrap this up in a bow?
Let's do it.
Hey, he got his radio voice on.
Yep.
Starman does. Switch mics in that 10 minutes, just like I switched my hat.
All right, Chris, what is your third honorable
I did
mention?
switch mics.
I like this.
My third honorable mention is Signs of Affection.
Wait, what?
Uh,
Wow.
What?
Signs of Affection.
Okay. Go on.
I wanted to like this. I wanted to like this because Yuki was a great female protagonist, and Itsuomi had his moments too for as a good male lead to follow up with her. But with how the show was, I didn't like it as much. Like it kept going off to as Starman mentioned before, to focus on the other characters, which is good. But with a 12 episode show, we didn't get real much. We didn't get a lot of of the main characters after they started dating of them interacting. We only had one date. I
So
it, it,
basically,
I
you
was just
focused
at,
on
I was just
everywhere
saying.
else after as soon as they became official.
Yeah, well, I mean, sure, show the characters get interact, but you don't need to focus so much on them that you completely overlook the main two.
Okay, that's fair.
I oh, you still go ahead. I was
No, I just finished.
okay. My first honorable mention. Yo, excuse me, guys. Yo, this was hard. This I'm not gonna even act like this shit wasn't hard.
Oh yeah, of course, it was all fucking impossible. I couldn't
Um,
figure this shit out.
my first honorable mention is Metallic Rouge.
Wow, it made your list.
Metallic Rouge deserved the honorable mention. I gave it way too many awards. Like it didn't meet my expectations, but it was okay. You know what I'm saying? It's I'm not gonna shout from the mountaintops that you need to watch it. It's not gonna I can't put it on like a high recommendation list. It's not even one I say I recommend. But I felt like after looking at my list and was like, bro, you gave this shit like 5, 6 awards, bro. Like it got to be at least an honorable mention. I'm like, yeah, you know what? I got the least honorable mention because I done talked about it so much tonight for it to not just be fire. It's like this shit was supposed to be a classic and it just fell short. Fell super short.
Mhm.
Okay. Ethan,
Number 13 for me is Banished Hero Season 2. I thought it was better than Season 1. Quite frankly, I didn't think any of my shows deserved 13. I was going to go in with 12, but if I had to pick one for 13, I would put Banished Hero on there. It was solid, like I said, better than Season 2. They focused a lot on Van being the main antagonist, which was pretty good considering Season 1 I don't think really had a true main antagonist. The love between Red and Rit really, stood out and really blossomed over this time as well. A lot of the side characters got moments to shine, especially in the battles prior to the main battle with Van and the fairy bitch, who I hated. But yeah, as a whole, it was pretty solid. It's a nice, adventure, cool magic, cool fights, but it was okay. Like I said, I think I gave this like a 3.5. I think out of 5. So yeah, not bad.
my first honorable mention is High Card Season 2.
Wow.
Some good stuff, but while some of the stuff with the side characters was nice, they still didn't get the love and recognition they deserved. So that was a pretty big con for me. Like I still don't care enough for them, even though I want to. I, again, I wasn't a fan of the whole Klondike thing. Basically, all the hype of just to die in one episode after basically doing nothing. Just that he was Fyodor's friend. That was it. You were my friend. So yeah, the stuff like that is just disappointed. It was just more about Chris. It was more about Finn this time around. That's fine, but everything else around that, it was just a little weak for me.
Mm.
All right, next mention, Chris.
I hate that I have to put this so low. But for number 2, I picked Wrong Way to Use Healing Magic.
Okay.
I love this show. The characters were great. I didn't it didn't do enough. It had a great premise. It had great characters. It wasn't enough to fit in for 12 episodes. 13. I forget how much. I think
Okay.
12.
All right. Starman?
Right. My something bit me. All right. My second honorable mention is Sasuke and Peeps. Sasuke and Peeps was an anime that could have been an isekai, it could have been a fantasy, it could have been a magical girl, it could have been a supernatural anime, it could have been a sci-fi anime. Like they did so many genres in that show where it was just like, bro, what kind of anime do you want to make? Make up your mind. But amidst them trying to make up their mind of what type of anime they want, it's like they even got some Spice and Wolf magic in there when they were doing economics. Like a larger part of it was about a salesman who just has a job that's not paying well, and he ends up getting a bird from the pet shop because he wants a pet, and the bird he adopts ends up being the fucking star sage, and he's like, bro, I can talk and I can take you to another world. He takes him to another world, and he starts taking goods from the real world to the magical world, and he starts exchanging them for real gold. Then he finds this rich chick in the real Japan who takes that gold from that other world and converts it to yen. So by the end of the series, he's paid. So he ends up just like, I think it's cool. He bounces around back and forth, back and forth. There was a cliffhanger that left at the end about this his next door neighbor who has a crush on him. She meets
He's a middle schooler
figure who wants her to be a fucking anti-magical girl. So I was like, oh, this bitch is Magic Baser too or some shit. Well, like, we gonna see. But they set up everything we need for a second season, and I'm excited, and I hope we get it.
Cool.
All right, Nathan?
Number 12 for me was a show that tumbled down after its finale. Matt, I think you know what show I'm talking about. Hokkaido Gals are super adorable. This show, same thing like Starman just said. I wanted to like it. I really, was invested in it. What's it called? Tsubasa. He's a wonderful boy, all things considered. What's it called? Fuyuki. What's it called? The other girl, Sayuri. She's great. She's cute. She won't win, but she's still a nice piece of the cast. And then the best girl, of course, is the next door neighbor. What's her name, Matt? I forget her name.
Which Rena?
Rena. Yeah, thank you. Rena. So, yeah, she's the best girl. She won't win either, unfortunately. It's gonna be the fucking abnormally large-chested, tiny-headed, fucking blonde ditz that didn't have the fucking wherewithal to let this boy know that she's only going for 2 weeks after she basically insinuated that she was going to be gone forever and broke this boy's heart. And then just like that ending, like, to me, that solidified this so low for me just because that ending was just shit. I hated that fucking ending. It was supposed to be, nice and joyous. It was supposed to be a plot twist. It fucking sucked ass. I hated it. As soon as I saw that twist, I was like, fuck this. Fuck this.
They should have saved that. They should have revealed it at season 2 if they were ever going to do it.
Yeah, that would have been like, okay, like, oh shit, that's fucking amazing. No, they did it at the end. It wasted a whole 2 episodes. Nothing was confirmed really between them. Like, it's obvious they like each other. Just all the wrong, reasons to hate this show really is what really drove this down for me. I mean, at the end of the day, everything's still nice. I appreciated the fact that, according to Ernie, who's been to Hokkaido, what's it called? The locations and all the customs and things of the nature are all literally accurate, which is wonderful. You always love to see political and regional accuracy in shows, especially shows that are, deal with actual literal real life Japan. So that's nice. The characters themselves as a whole are all nice. There's adequate fan service, a lot of funny moments as well in between that. So I mean, it has its good qualities. It's just that end really fucking pissed me off, and I found 11 other shows that I like better.
Alrighty, honorable mention to Chris. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, wrong way to use healing magic.
Yeah.
No, I am very picky with isekais lately because it's almost all the same shit.
Oh yeah.
This was definitely different. I loved Rose. Rose is a fucking badass.
Oh yeah, he's the greatest.
Yes, I almost picked her for a couple of things. So, no, it's very fun, but I felt like it was a little too basic with some of the other stuff in between for the episodes. I think that's what prevented me for rating it a little higher than I wanted to. But I am looking forward to season 2 if there is a season 2. With how they set it up, I'm interested in. I like the concept of it, like using like healing magic, like fight type of thing. He's not really. It's not really OP. It's not like a kingdom betrayed him for being summoned here. He's helping out, and he's got a great sensei. Fantastic. But yeah, so for that one, it had to be healing magic. So, Chris, what's your last honorable mention?
My last honorable mention is another one that I unfortunately had to put here because everything from last season was fucking great, so it took up like more than half my list. Chain Soldier.
Okay.
Just like with Wrong Way to Use Healing Magic, there wasn't enough time to like go further because this is an adventure series. Like they go on an adventure after like where they are, where they ended off. They go on an adventure. We don't see that until whenever the fuck season 2 comes out. So it's like missing out on like the main part of this story. So we can't. Also, it got knocked down because of the last episode of a series that came out, or one of the series that's on that recently joined my top 10. So you'll have to wait to see that one.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Sorry. Last honorable mention.
Last honorable mention. Drink some water.
Bougie ass Fiji.
Apothecary.
It's gonna be.
I gave this show a 3.5 out of 5. I enjoyed it, but it didn't hit to me the same way it hit to like everybody else. None other than Matt called it Apothecary Diaries.
I called it. Yes, I knew it.
Apothecary Diaries, man.
So far off.
Apothecary Diaries was like I had to at least honorably mention it because it's a beautifully animated show. Like the animation is dope. And from what the gist of the community that I got, like people enjoy it. People like it. They like Mao Mao. They like the characters. They like the ancient Chinese background. And I thought that was cool. But if I'm keeping it a buck, the only reason I watch this show is because y'all watch it and I want to be able to talk about it with y'all. I had no interest. There was never anything that pushed me each week to say, oh my God, I get a new episode of Apothecaries. It was like, oh, I got a new episode. I'll get to it. I was just never excited to watch another episode. I didn't care. I didn't really like Mao Mao. She got on my nerves. There was nobody on that show who I was just like a fan of. I liked that I was stand of. My favorite Mao Mao moment was when she made the Shin-Chan Shin-Chan face. Outside of that, man, I could have took it or leave it. If I never watched the show again, I'll never recommend it to nobody. But I felt like I at the very least had to mention it because it's so popular. So yeah, man, I think it's worth the hype that it gets. I guess I don't get it. I think the show was overhyped, but
my heart is broken.
It's a 3.5 out of 5 for me.
Crazy.
It's okay, I knew, so I'm not heartbroken.
It's on his list. Unlike last time where he had some that weren't even on his fucking list. We were like, what the fuck? Made his list. It's good enough.
Honorable mention. They made the top 10.
My heart. It hurts. It hurts. Number 10 for me is also the same one that Chris picked, Chain Soldier. This was a late addition for me, thanks to the behest of Matt and Chris. I like this significantly better than Tales of Wedding Rings, the other ecchi that I watched this season. Both have uncensored breasts. Tales of Wedding Rings, I like the animation of their breasts and overall the animation there a lot more than I did Chain Soldier. But Chain Soldier anime itself had a way better plot, something that I could sink my teeth into. I enjoyed the MC very much. Yuki is a very endearing MC. The girls are all pretty cool. They're all hot. They all contribute versus like where you have like a Tales of Wedding Rings where it's really only a couple of the girls that contribute truly to the aspect, and the main character of all the girls doesn't contribute at all except giving him a kiss and is scared to fuck him. So that's annoying from that perspective, which is why Tales would have never made my list. But Chain Soldier, definitely the plot. In all seriousness, people talk about, oh, like fan service is plot. No, legitimately, there is plot. And the fan service that it doesn't overreach. It doesn't, it's not like super bold, in your face, unnecessary. It does contribute to the plot. And it's not like, even though it can be viewed as tasteless, I didn't consider it tasteless because I've seen some tasteless fucking fan service, and that can get fucking hairy. But no, I enjoyed Chain Soldier very much. I look forward to a season 2. I forgot to mention for Hokkaido Girls, I gave that a 3.5 out of 5 as well. Chain Soldier, I gave a 3.75 out of 5. I enjoyed it.
My last honorable mention, bottom tier character, Tomazaki-kun season 2.
Wow.
That made your list?
Yeah,
You made my list, motherfucker. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Again, I wasn't a fan of like about half the season just being about Tama when I really didn't need to be. I feel like it just distracted towards growth with Tomazaki. And we got at the second half, but it wasn't enough for me to care. It's like they forgot about it for a second. And I like Fuka, but with how they built Mimimi, wrong girl won. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I was like Fuka. This was the
That's your choice, Matt. That's your pick for him.
Yeah, Mimi is definitely better girl, no doubt. I'll talk about it when we get to mine.
It was just the wrong call. Like, it didn't feel right.
No, Fuka had a connection, like from the books, from how they looked at each other, how they talked. To me, Fuka was a way better pick. Mimi was just eager and had a lot of energy, and she was cute and bubbly, but they didn't have
I will give it this. The only reason why Mimi is an option is because Mimi is the first girl to notice Tomazaki after the change. But Fuka gets points from being the one who was curious about Tomazaki when he did look like a school shooter and he would talk to nobody and he was downtrodden and all that shit. So,
and she saw him clean up himself and she wanted to do it. Problem is, she tried to imitate the wrong person, was actually putting on a face. But
she got the one that had like nothing. It was like
I like the fact that she was a mirror of him, and although that anime did not make my list at all, I'm glad that somebody brought it up so I could at least speak on it.
do you hold on? Because I know you picked this up late. You had binge season 1 to watch season 2. Do you at least not regret watching the series? Would you watch a season 3?
Hell yeah. Season 1 was phenomenal. Season 2 was stupid. They spent half of the season bullying shit. And I'm like, bro, just punch a bitch in the face. Oh my God. Can I get
Yes, thank you.
Oh my God. Like,
what show is it that we saw where the bitch got punched in the face early on?
But
that was a movie. I was like, well, that tunnel movie. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the tunnel movie where she fucking punched that bitch in the
that's what you need to fucking do sometimes.
Yeah.
It wasn't even about Tomazaki. It was about him watching everybody else around him, and then it was still like, his homegirl, she was putting on an act, and we never got no resolution to the act she was putting on.
I'll speak. I get that.
Now we just gaslights. That's it.
I don't disagree with y'all points. I'll speak to it when I get to it because I rated it significantly higher than y'all, but it's fine.
You see that?
I'll count your points and we can have a discussion on it. That's fine.
All
right. Chris, number 10.
I put Blue Exorcist season 3.
Okay.
I really like. Ever since the horrible ending of season 1, Blue Exorcist up its quality, and it shows in the latest season, especially with the reveal of the traitor, the reveal of the Illuminati, and all the it hit like everything it was supposed to do, as shown in the manga.
Mm.
Starman
Cool.
number 10.
All right, so my we are actually in the top 10 now.
Yep.
Top 10.
Top 10. My number 10 was an anime. I enjoyed season 1. Season 2 rolled right in with the punches. Like Apothecaries. I didn't care about it as much as everybody else did. It was just okay. All right, cool. It was sweet. It was cool, but it had to make my top 10. But there were 9 other anime that I felt like I was more invested in. I'm talking
Solo
about
Leveling.
other than Dangers in My Heart season 2.
Wow.
Yeah, man. Dangers in My Heart, my season 2. Dangers in My Heart season 2. It made my top 10, but I think all y'all points are valid. Like from the romance, they dangled that carrot way too long. And as much as I like the drama, it was just I got to the point where I was just like, God damn it, I know you like this girl. I know she like you. Can y'all do something? And then at the end, when they kind of confessed it, it's like everything happened how you knew it would happen. So I got to the point where nothing shocked me, nothing surprised me, nothing caught me off guard. I was just waiting for everything to fucking happen, and I knew it was gonna happen. It just got to a point where I was just like, bro, just wrap this shit up, because I just knew what was gonna happen.
But
And
you never had that with a female, like where you knew like, all right, I'm feeling you, she feeling me, like, but then nothing happens because the carrot got dangled too long. Like you never hooked up, you never got.
Nigga, no, I couldn't relate to this shit. These kids.
I had that happen to me in my second job, bro. I had this girl that like we would sex, we'd send each other fucking pictures and shit, but I knew like I could get it, and I never went for it.
I mean, y'all were having sex, bro. That's like the most.
No, we did not. And that's what I'm saying. Like we had that regret. Like, yeah, it was like all the ingredients are there, but it just never happened. I never made that move.
It's just like, bro, I know
never made that move.
It's like the Valentine's Day episode. That's when the series peaked. To me, it peaked around Valentine's Day. But after Valentine's Day, after then, I was just waiting for the season to be over with, because I had already gotten my feel at the Valentine's Day episode. I had gotten my feel. It was like, all right, bro, I'm good. Just wrap this shit up, B. But yeah, that's not the shit on it. But it's not as good as the first season. It's just not, man. Season 1 was special. This shit right here was just, they just kept recycling. So I had to give this one that's a downgrade for me. I give this one a 3.5 out of 5.
Okay.
You okay, Ethan? Are you okay, Ethan?
Oh,
I'm sorry to hurt you.
Yeah, man. Just, ripping at it.
You're just stabbing Ethan like twice in a row now.
I know. I hear it in his voice.
Next thing you know, he's gonna put free in at fucking 8 or some shit.
He's smiling, so that means.
Oh no! Oh no! Anyway, my number 10, just for Chris, Dr. Elise. Dr. Elise made my top 10.
After you raved about it all season, it barely made your top 10
because I like other shit more. I mean, listen, at the end of the day,
so much better with that show. They could have done.
I see Chris's points. I hadn't heard anybody mention Chris's points because nobody really talked about the show. Chris distinctively waited for this moment tonight to fucking tell me his 2 cents about it. But
yeah,
no, I mean, like with Dr. Elise, I understand Chris's points. They make sense to a degree in my head. I get it. But it's just what I said in terms of why I made Elise the best girl. Like it's principle is still a woman who saves lives. Like I don't know many other anime. I'm sure they're out there, but how many other anime deal with realistic health conditions and show someone actually triaging them and saving critical people within the universe that they're in? Like I find that to be really special. The love story between what's his face? I don't even remember this fucking guy's name.
The Prince.
The Prince. I know, but I wanted to give him an actual name. Dr. Elise, the Prince. It's some like weird fucking European name. Linden. There we go. It's German. Linden and Elise, I thought was really nice from that for the most part. And even though Chris doesn't like the aspect of her being revived twice and into a world that she lived in previously,
I didn't hate it. It seemed too convenient. Like, why force at that point? Why not just start her from
I
childbirth?
think what it is you have points of regret, and I feel like with every person that thinks back on the past, that holds on to the past, you think back to your point of regret, and you always say, "Boy, if I can go back in time and redo that." In essence, that's really what happened with Elise. She had regrets over her first life, and she got an opportunity in her third life to go back to the exact, I guess, uh, the fork in the road for her in that life,
But I
and
think that's
rectify her mistakes.
you didn't watch Tier Moon Empire Kingdom or Empire Story.
No,
Oh, that does that whole that does regression so much better.
What Tier Moon Empire?
Yeah, it does regression so much better.
Empire was fantastic.
Yeah.
okay,
But we can talk about more of my dislikes of this after the show, so I don't lead you into another half-hour tangent.
that's fine. Yeah, so no, but I enjoy Dr. Lee's from that standpoint. The drama also that involves the factions with her decision, like her decision is altering the entire course of the previous story. Her and Mikkel, I think, is pretty interesting from that perspective as well. You could tell Mikkel definitely has some sort of feelings for her that go beyond just, like brother sister, like really close friends, admiration type thing. There's something a little bit more to that, which is interesting from that perspective. Again, the love story with Lyndon and Elise was nice. Although, him being Ron so much, I felt definitely took away from that. It would mean a lot more if she would have like maybe realized early on, or if he would have came out sooner. But given how they did it, it wasn't bad by any stretch of the imagination. But yeah, I think, like I said, the true focal point for me that really sold me on Dr. Elise is just the principle of her saving lives, being able to diagnose things like, pulmonary illnesses, diabetes, cancer, heart attack, being able to simply take care of like broken legs and limbs and things of that nature on a dime. And I thoroughly enjoyed that piece for what it was worth. I just found 9 other anime that I enjoyed a little bit more.
All right, number 10. It's not great, but it does have potential, especially when it comes back in the summer. Sengoku Yoko. Very slow in the beginning. I'm not gonna deny that. But when we got to the actual meat of the matter, it definitely picked up. I liked the character growth and poor Shakuyaku. That was a sad man. Fight scenes were nice. I'm more interested in how the next arcs, the last bit of the arc, is just going to play out. So yeah, there's more. I'm interested now. Can you deliver for the rest? So that's why I'm going to give it number 10, Sengoku Yoku.
I forgot to mention, by the way, I gave Dr. Elise a 3.75 out of 5. Just wanted to
this is a 3.5.
Okay.
Number 9.
My number 9 is It's Time for Torture Princess. I really and characters too much not to like put this in the top 10. The throughout the series, they each individually broke the princess out of her I gotta be stoic shell, so she would give them information while not seemingly important. Opened her up, and it was just seeing like all the shit that they would go through just to like get shit that didn't even matter.
All right.
Chris, you want to fix your mic because it's like staticky, like it's like sound like a little robotic-y.
That's weird.
I didn't know that was just me that heard it.
No, you're good. What was the name of your 9, Chris? Sorry, because
This is Torture Princess.
Torture Princess. Okay, cool.
Is that right?
Yeah, that was right.
Okay.
My number 9.
Excuse me.
Fuck.
He's rethinking his decision. I'll tell you what.
Which top anime is he going to rank lower next? We got Solo Leveling.
You guys did manage to convince me to knock down bottom tier by 1. So, go ahead.
The Witch and the Beast.
Okay. Wow, I had it higher than you.
The Witch and the Beast. I enjoyed The Witch and the Beast. Here's the thing. 12 episodes wasn't enough. The Witch and the Beast is phenomenal. It's a show that you must absolutely watch. I have to recommend this show. I probably should have dropped it another space lower and swapped it out with number 8. If I'm being completely honest, I think this show is more of a number 8 than it is my number 9. But number 8 and number 9 are 2 shows in the same vein. I probably should have gave this a number 8, but the cat's out the bag now. I kind of feel like this is more of a number 8 than a number 9. Damn. Oh well.
You could do them. We could just do. You could do 8 and you could do 9 and 8, and then when we get to 8, kind of just move over. Take the time. Go ahead.
Nah, go ahead. It's on you, Ethan. I'll come back.
You want to talk about them both at the same time at 8?
Probably. I'm gonna think about this more.
Okay, that's fine. Number 9, we said.
Yep.
Number 9 for me is High Card Season 2. So I rated it a little bit higher than you did, Matt.
Okay.
High Card Season 2 for me was phenomenally better compared to Season 1. All the questions that we had coming out of Season 1 were thoroughly answered in Season 2. The action was much better paced, much better done as well. We got Definity in the conclusion of the show, which was fairly nice. And yeah, I just enjoyed the battles very much. I enjoyed some of the drama that unfolded, so that was cool. And yeah, I just enjoyed the storytelling. It took them a while, as I mentioned, from Season 1 to Season 2 to really flesh out the entire principle of the plot. But I thought once it was fleshed out, it was making sense. There was a long stretch in the latter half of Season 2 where it was just like, all right, that makes sense. Oh, you answered that question. Oh, you had this battle. Oh, there's another question. Oh, there's another question that I bet goes here. No, it went somewhere else. And I enjoyed that ride very much. High Card definitely put me on a ride that I wasn't expecting and was thoroughly pleased and surprised by. So yeah, number 9, High Card Season 2.
Alrighty. Number 9 for me is 7th Time Loop. No, like I said, it's like Reliana. Stuff I wanted from Reliana. I loved Rishi. She was the best girl contender for me. I feel like some of the stuff in the middle didn't hit as much, like where you got from the beginning. I kind of wish we had more on her previous lives. Like they showed a little bit of it, but not to be like invested. And I also not a fan of the misleading title with the villains. Like she's not a villainess. It's just there to sell, and that's the reason that annoyed me. And even if she was a villainess, they did nothing to explain why. Because basically, the started as, "Oh, the wedding's off. Fuck you. Go fuck yourself." That's really it. So something I would again wish it more with the time loop, more about the previous lives, and just. Arnold's okay. He's an okay guy, but like there's like nothing new about him. Like the guy from Reliana, I think the guy was better.
No.
Oh man, I was waiting for you to bring this. Reliana was better than 7 Time Loop. Like, I guess you can differ, but when I sat there and finished both, I thought about it, and I was just like, bro, in no world. Reliana animation was better, the tension was better, and the drama. The only issue that I had was, that shit just went off. It's like Reliana just went off. It's just like, yeah, bro, we ain't gonna even wrap this.
That was why that's why I put Time Loop above it. That was the reason why.
Yeah, but Time Loop, it was like, okay, but yeah.
Again, it got what I want, sure, but it doesn't mean it's better.
Yeah, I got you. I just had to throw that in because I've been waiting.
No. I get it. This is more of stuff I wanted, but I don't know. I think both of them are just not going to get a season 2. That's the only disappointing thing.
Hello.
I hear you.
Okay. I was just trying to make sure. Okay. I didn't hear what you guys said for your 8s, except for Matt's.
Well, we didn't do 8. We're on 9.
Or 9s.
Yeah. I got Time Loop, and you said
I had
High Card, and
I had Solo Leveling.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
Oh, he revealed his 8.
Yeah.
Wow, there's another one. By the way, for the record, my 9 and up are all 4 stars for me. High Card is a low 4.
Solo Leveling is my 9 after I really thought about it. Solo Leveling had some of the best action I have seen all fucking season. No fucking story. It was just like, bro, no characters, no story, no plot. It was just such an elementary plot. It was just like, I'm gonna just go in dungeons and I'm gonna just level up because I have to. It was, if you're an action junkie, I felt like that's the one. But yeah, I already kind of
The
revealed.
plot itself, though, is he needed money to try and no. The original plot, the true plot, is he wants to find a cure. Once he realized that there is a way through the dungeons to get a cure for his mother that has like that disease, like the dungeon disease or whatever, where she can't wake up unless she gets like some sort of magical cure and she's being held together on life support through like one of the magic crystals. That true point is A, he needs money to keep her hospital bills up. B, he wants the cure, and then C, he basically has been shunned off by society because of the fact that he's a weak bitch. So now he wants to not be a weak bitch. And now, because of that, the underlying plot to that is that he's losing his sense of individuality as well as his sense of self, his humanity through the leveling up process because of whatever crazy evil scheme that we have yet to see from the masters of this gaming fucking leveling up shit that he's under. So there's plot to it. It's just not strong plot. I get your principle of not being strong plot, but to say there's no plot, I think that's inaccurate.
Okay, that's fair. That's why I was kind of struggling between that and The Witch and the Beast. It was like
Witch and Beast has better plot. I'll give you that. Witch and Beast has better plot.
I'll give you that. And the action wasn't as good as Solo Leveling, but like the characters and the plot gave me more to chew on. So sorry.
Yeah.
No,
that's totally fair. When you put it in that perspective, that makes sense. I'm not gonna hate on it. I had Solo way higher, but that's not you making sense. You talking?
No, that's it. That's my 9 and 8. Sorry, I jumped the gun, but yeah,
no, you're good.
Like tied, and I could not break the tie until I had to say it out loud.
Yeah, go into 8.
9.
Well, Chris, what's your number 8?
My number 8 Solo Leveling.
Oh, well, hell yeah.
Yeah, not specifically for the same reason you did. Yes, it was action. Yes, the story was dull as dirt, but that's what you can get for shows that haven't really picked off that much. My reason for having it as 8 is because someone who's read the manga, it fucking fixed Jinwoo as a character. In the manhwa, he turns into this whole dark and edgy dipshit who doesn't care about anyone. When he originally was his kind self. He somewhat still has it now, but it's not. He's not edgy. I'm gonna just not care about anything. Not gonna care about my sister. Who cares about her? Not care about this dude who wants to try and sell me something. I just really like how they fixed they adapted this version, and episode 12 pushed it over the edge. This was originally my number 11.
Yeah, I would say that. At first, I'll tell you what, I had Solo above Ragna and because of that finale, and then the more I realized how much Sean so much passionately loves Ragna when we had our things, it pushed it above Solo for me. So, by the way, your mic was doing it kind of again, Chris.
I have no idea. It might be because my cat bit into it when I'm not at work.
Probably.
But I have no idea.
Yeah, it's hit or miss. Like you sound clear, and then it's like sounds like you're like. We'll make do. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Number 8 for you, Ethan.
No, I wanted Starman to go more into his number 8. He said Witch and Beast, but did you really go into did you expound on your thought on 8?
No, Witch and the Beast is. I feel like I said a lot of it early. It was a lot of the characters in the animation. It's like the animation really was the cornerstone of the show, but it was what it was able to build with all the characters that they added in, and it kept you on the hook of there was a mystery and more to it. Now, I will say, action-wise, like the fights weren't even half as good as Solo Leveling, but they were good fights. They were good, interesting fights. There were good villains. It was, I felt like the witch sword part went on a little too long. I was like, all right, man, what's gonna happen with this? With the way they kind of revealed and pulled everything out, that like when Guido transformed and they wrapped that shit up, it was cool. But when you get to the finale and you get Guido, nature revealed, Guido was like, yeah, man, this witch turned me. This ain't even my body. I'm not even this. Like, I got cursed by this witch. This is not even my body. I'm cursing this body that's not even mine.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, okay, well, I'm gonna get this witch, and then they set the way they set up season 2. It was like, bro, I got to get a season 2. Where the fuck is that?
Mm-hmm.
But it's literally like they added all those characters that got me interested in. Yeah, man. So that's the thing that kind of just gives it a little slight edge over Solo Level, which was the fights, it was the action, fighting the dragon, fighting the dog, fighting the Cerberus, killing the people. But I was just like, yeah, man, I've seen edge lords. I've seen people who just like, bro, I'm gonna just get edgy. I'm gonna just kill you. I'm gonna cut you up and do all this, nasty stuff. It was just like nothing in Solo 11 surprised me. I was just like, yeah, bro, just kick this nigga ass. Now that last final fight when he fought the little red motherfucker and he broiled his ass, I thought that was phenomenal. I was just like, but the reason why Solo 11 gets a 9 instead of an 8 is one factor, and the only single factor is after 5 episodes, I did not need a recap. Why? The fact that you gave me a recap after 5 episodes, like I'm stupid. Like, bro, I ain't my attention span ain't that low. Why'd you do that?
It's the Japanese.
And then they didn't even have a Korean language out when it dropped. Who does that?
Yeah, they brought the Korean language like 2 weeks after it dropped. I would have loved to watch this in Korean. I would have loved it.
Yeah.
For sure. Number 8 for me, based off of y'all shitting on it a little bit earlier in the episode, I have bottom tier character Tamazaki season 2. I don't disagree with the principle of what you guys are saying in terms of the fact that the first half drug a little bit too long. When you look at my counterpoint to what I was going to say is that you guys talked about the fact that it featured Tama more, and I do agree because that was never really brought up, the resolution of why Homegirl was just such a bitch the entire time. My thought process, though, is through all the events that occurred, I would agree it lasted too long, but through these events, Tomazaki continues to grow because of the fact that he, for the first time truly in the series, was opposed to Aoi. Aoi had her methodology of how she wanted to approach the scenario. Tomazaki did. He wanted to do it his way. He had ideas on how he wanted to do it. He took the lead and he took the onus, and he had the will to want to extend himself to help Tama. Now it shows progression from the standpoint of where at the beginning, obviously, he didn't care about anybody in the class, and then he learned to care about the class once he became friends with them. But this is the first true, like, recognizable idea of where he has values and principles for these new friends, and he wants to go above and beyond what he ever did or ever conceived of attempting to do in trying to rectify a situation that he is not necessarily a part of, but something that he feels isn't right because of those principles that I had just mentioned. So I feel that there's growth from that perspective. There's more in terms of him becoming more endeared to the class. Like now he's stepping out and he's really like endearing himself to multiple people. He gets another contact in the class with the little shy girl that was originally getting bullied, for which Thomas stood up for them. And I think also all that kind of leads to another reason why Me ended up falling for him, because of the fact that he took the time, the effort, and really like put himself out there to help her best friend, whom she cherishes more than anybody else in the series outside of her feelings for Tomazaki. So I really felt that even though it did go too long, even though we did not get the same reasoning or backstory behind why Homegirl was such a bitch, it still gives credence to, the not necessity, but the value in that story. So the only critique would be could have been an episode shorter, and could have given us some backdrop. If you're going to make it that long, give us some backdrop on why she was so mean. But no, really what stood out for me in the top 10, originally I had this almost at like 5. Like I love the ending so much. I'm totally in agreement that me is the better girl. She should have won. I give points to the fact that Fuka is the one that truly, I would say, truly deserved him more, because of the fact that, again, she noticed him when he was a loser, when he was a nobody, and took interest in that perspective, and then was really galvanized by his change, And for Tomazaki to have grown, I feel like he's grown to the point where he can recognize the faces. Having these discussions with Ruka about Aoi, he's always understood that to a degree, but having the conversations with Fuka about Aoi being a blank face, about not being her true self. And then there's they allude to it a little bit where they interviewed Aoi's former classmates, and one of the girl had mentioned, oh yeah, she had 2 siblings, and the guy's like, oh, I only thought he had 1. So clearly they're alluding to the fact that there is some sort of childhood trauma that has now turned Aoi into that. And that's good sub story, because now we've accomplished one of the major bits. Fuka and Tomazaki are together. That was one of the major cruxes of the show, outside of Tomazaki's overall over-encompassing growth and development into being a normie. So now that we've got that established, there are 2 pieces now that need to unfold. One is maintaining the relationship with Fuka, and 2, discovering Aoi in the depth that you fundamentally change her. And I think that's one of the best things about the series, is now that Aoi has been so instrumental in changing Tomazaki, now comes the opportunity for Tomazaki, with everything that he's learned, all the values that he's gained, and so forth and so on. He gets to put that into play against Aoi. And it goes back to the baseline of the show. The baseline of the show is this guy is so good at video games, always kicks her ass, but they live in 2 separate worlds. She went through the struggle and the effort to bring him into her world. And now that she's done that, she has enabled Tomazaki to be able to break her down psychologically, emotionally, and be able to assist her in breaking down her barriers, her walls, and really open her up and confront that trauma that's been alluded to. So I think the way they set that up also is tremendous. Another thing that I want to mention, I'm going long, I know, but I just really, really, really enjoyed Tomazaki from that.
I don't have the Oscar button.
Yeah, you don't have the Oscar button. I'm sorry. The final thing I'll say is I enjoyed the psychological aspect between Fuka and Tomazaki. I really enjoyed how they broke each other down, and they really, went through and they literally took pieces of each other's entities, emotionally and mentally, and really showed it to the other, and that really helped their relationship grow. And the psychological aspects that make the viewer themselves question and really put into perspective things that are being applied in the show, and put that into your perspective, into your life. I enjoy that. Anytime a show will make me contemplate realities of circumstance, current, present, past, or future, I find that very endearing to me. And I enjoyed that ride very much. That conflict, that final drama, that build up, I thought was done. And we did get a good payoff. It was not nearly the payoff that we got with Dangers in Our Heart, but we got a good payoff in the end, with Tomazaki finally getting the girl that he wanted in the end. So I enjoyed that. For that, that's why I put it in my top 10.
All right.
Or just to fill in, the reason why the chick wasn't bothered to look up her name, was so anti-Tama, is because she stood up for the girl who made it, who basically Tomazaki led to play her in order to get her into the sports festival. In order to get when Izumi got with him, she blamed it on the shy chick, and Tama defended her. That's the whole reason why that arc happened, and it's not as bad as Endless Age. Fuck.
Yeah, like I get that, but at the same time, like she was over, like you could tell she just got that attitude. Why does she have that attitude? That exacerbated that scenario you played out that occurred in front of us. That exacerbated her feelings and her bitchiness. But there's a principle to why is she such like a fucking stick up her ass, is what we're saying, I think.
Okay.
All right, number 8, solo leveling.
Yo, we match.
No, you guys made it lower by 1.
I made it 8.
No. I lowered it by 1.
He had it at 7 and he lowered it to 8 now.
Oh.
Yeah, no. I think one problem that I know you raved about to me, Chris. Like, it didn't feel like it was like a Korean type.
Oh yeah, that too. They just
it felt like a Japanese type show when it's not. It's not supposed.
I didn't mind that though after God of High School, and they butchered that shit. So I'm kind of glad.
No, I don't like that. It's fucking stupid.
yeah, it kills the adaptation.
But you said they adapted better.
No,
Yes, they were.
no, they adapted main character better. He was okay. Star-Lord said that he didn't want to see any more edgelords. He was 10 times worse in the manga before they corrected him.
Yeah, but like the story and stuff like that, this feels like you just see from like a generic anime. Like it's supposed to be like this different feel from the manhwa. And it's like, hey, you don't even get that, and it's just like, But action's great. That's some of the best action. I loved it. But how far can you carry that? That's kind of like one of my worries with Ninja Kamui, like, except for the revenge angle. But it's John Wick. That's why I like John Wick. So
I don't know. Ask Jujutsu Kaisen, Matt. How far did they carry that?
not. I'd low. Hey, it was low on mine. So
Hey,
but pretty colors and everyone's
Don't worry about it. It'll break with the Kit Kat.
with the Kit Kat. Yeah, that's their payment for cleaning up the Kit Kat.
Yep. Oh wait,
it's just I don't know. It's just weird to me. Again, it didn't feel like a Korean type of thing. I wish this was in Korean. Jinwoo, he's okay. I know you said he was worse in the manhwa and improving now, but it just feels bland. That's just the issue with it. Like, I get the purpose of what he wants to do, but it's just there.
That's the issue with season 1 for Solo Leveling. When they get to season 2, we're gonna get more plot.
As I said, I want it to improve. I want this to be good. Like, I am invested in this, but with this, and then basically like your first 2 episodes should have been like 1 hour special. It's just a waste of a slot.
It should have been in 1 hour. It should have been like enough to fill the entire first dungeon.
Yeah. Agreed.
Hour and a half.
Like I said, first episode should have hit harder.
No filler. No filler recap.
Yeah, no filler
It
recap.
was even so much, even at the thriller at that point, like Solo Leveling, you were not supposed to get a cliffhanger on the first episode. You were supposed to get him. You're supposed to see the full transformation on the first episode. Freeran gave you 3 episodes. There's no reason why Solo Leveling couldn't give you 2.
4, I think.
Yeah, Freeran gave us 4.
It's 4.
Yeah, so
But, I will say what they tried to do, and maybe they didn't successfully pull it off. Again, I have it higher than y'all, but to your points, they try to go for the shock value. The shock value of like all these people just fucking died, got their limbs cut off.
But we've seen that shit from like Goblin Slayer, and that's
Attack on Titan.
Although I hear Goblin Slayer season 2 is fucking way better than season 1.
Listen, Attack on Titan. Like I don't like Attack on Titan that much, but like episode 1 still hits way harder.
No, nah. The beginning of Attack on Titan sucked ass. I gave up
talking about
after 6 episodes. Back
like
3 years.
I'm talking about not episode 1. I'm talking about when the Titans attack again. So like episode 2 maybe. I don't fucking remember. It's been years.
I
Yeah,
know.
like
I
10
thought
years ago, Chris. So.
the first season was fairly mid, and we had this conversation about what mid is. I thought season 1 was fairly fucking mid, and that's why I didn't continue.
That's why I didn't continue it.
That's why I didn't watch it. But like I'm saying, like when when Aaron's like, oh man, hey, now we can start the fight back, and then all the Titans come back. It's like, yes, that is the like that hit harder than like season or episode 1 of Solo Leveling.
I didn't mind it.
They should have had it. They should have extended it.
That's fair.
Alrighty, number 7.
My 7 is Apothecary.
Wow. Okay.
Mao Mao was great. She essentially carried the show, with her usual antics. Jinshi, it was good learning about him. The fucking the chess game was just fucking phenomenal. It just really hit, and I wanted to include this last season, but I'm glad that I can finally include it now. It's not as high as the other ones, but what can you do? It didn't have as much as the other any of the other shows did.
Okay. 7.
My number 7 is Mr. Villain's Day Off.
Okay.
Mr. Villain's Day Off. I expressed it before when I gave it the award for best slice of life. It was an excellent slice of life. It was just fun characters. They expanded different characters. It was a nice little story. Like I said, I thought it was about pandas and time off at first, but then they were able to get into something a little bit more deeper, and they were able to layer them, and you were able to see this guy's personality. Once he got the cat, once he got the digital robot cat pet, it's like you like it was like, you know what I'm saying? Like he rescued it was a cat that was supposed to get decommissioned because it was supposed to be a weapon, but it was terrible at being a weapon. And he found it and he was like, he made it his pet because he couldn't pet real cats because they ran from him because he's still a scary bad guy. No matter how nice he is, real cats run from him because they're scared. They won't let him pet them. But this robot cat did. It's just little small shit that they did, and it showed us like it was a real feel good show. Especially after Fluffy Paradise just let me down. That shit started off a cool, relaxing slice of life show that I knew for sure was gonna make my top 10, and towards the end they decided to go straight political and just kind of just tank the whole show with a stupid ass plot that made no fucking sense. And I was like, all right, I'm done with this shit. But yeah, Mr. Villain's Day Off was A1. Highly recommended.
I still have yet to find a slice of life that made me feel cool and shit like I did Skip and Loafer. I want more shows like Skip and Loafer, to your point.
We'll get it eventually.
I don't know. Number 7 for me, rated a little bit higher than all three, y'all. I think, Matt, you mentioned, I mentioned Witch and Beast yet? I don't think you have.
Not yet.
Oh, you rated higher than me. All right. Number 7 for me, Witch and Beast. A show that I originally gave up on because of the whole principle of the fact that we just got dropped into the middle of a story, and that pissed me off. I dropped it the episode before the Necromancer arc. Starman specifically said, bro, go back to Witch and Beast. You're not going to regret it. Then Matt seen it and said, dude, yeah, I agree. You'll like it. So I went back. Necromancer arc was the actual best arc for me of the series. That shit was badass as fuck.
Yes.
And at the end of the day, we did get what I bitched about at first, which was basically Godot's backstory, her and Asaf. I just, you know what, I pictured this literally as we were talking about Witch and Beast throughout tonight, and I still say I wanted that finale. I wanted that at the beginning of the show, right? The backdrop, and then you go through the entire season exactly how they did it. And then I wanted the end, right after what's it called? Godot is downtrodden. She's pissed off because of what happened with Angela. Asaf tries to comfort her. Asaf gets punched in the face or punched in the stomach, though, gets broken ribs. And then at the end of the season, you kill season, right? You kill the season, and then the end of the story is like, boy, this reminded me of how we met 3 years ago. Knowing that you had the background already from the first couple episodes, I thought that would have felt great. Then you go credits. And then the after credit could have been the world building. And then that is where you end it officially. You end the episode there the same way they did with Welcome to the World with Vampires. That's my critique of how Witch and Beast should have been. But no, as a whole, not much more I can add compared to what you guys have said. Incredible animation. The fights were really solid. The character development and depth was really well done. The visuals were fantastic. Musical composition, pretty damn solid as well from that perspective. Everything fit. And then just the badassery of the genderless fucking beast that Godot is pretty fucking sensational. And Asaf is a badass mage as well. So I forgot to mention I gave bottom tier character Tomazaki just a flat 4, which is a easy 4.25 for me.
Everything I've given you so far is still a 3.5 out of 5.
Number 7 for me is also Witch and Beast. I like the characters for it. I feel like we could have had one more episode to
how what else could you have
I don't know. I feel like it was missing one more somewhere. I just don't know exactly where. I was not sure I felt with the flashback kind of ending the show almost essentially.
I wasn't a fan of it. That's why I mentioned I would like put it in the front.
Yeah.
Go with the line.
No, I would say the front. I would say like somewhere in the middle.
You think like another episode of Angela? Surely not another episode of the fucking of the Magic Police. That was
No.
Necromancer.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, I feel like it was just missing that
Because they started off with like basically the formula is 2 episodes for every one situation, with the exception of the Magic Police. That was 3 episodes. Necromancer was 2 episodes. Magic Police was, Magic Police was 3. Necromancer was 2. The first episode was 1 story. The second episode started the 2 stories, and then you get 2 episodes of Angela, and then you get the 2 episode flashback. So
yeah.
Yeah,
I feel like it was a bit stuff, but I still enjoyed it. I am very hopeful for a season 2. I'm not sure if we are going to get it or not. I don't know. Because, seasons and certain shoujos don't get the best luck unless you're very, very popular.
It's a season.
Yeah.
A season?
Yeah.
Oh.
This is a season, yeah.
No,
Yeah, it's not shonen.
I know it's not a shonen. I'm thinking it's more like thriller mystery as well.
Well, demographic.
Demographic
is still a season.
All right.
But I still enjoyed the ride of it. So I really wanted this to be higher, but I just can't get conscious put it higher. I did want more. This should have been this, or just make it like a continuous core. That probably would have been a little lot better. It just felt incomplete.
Do you think it would have made your list for spring with how strong spring is if it was a continuous core?
If it kept up the way it was going, yeah, it was possible.
I'll tell you what. I have my only continuous core is Tsukimichi, and looking at spring, it's not going to make the list. But if I were to rate Tsukimichi's first 12 episodes versus what I saw here, I would have put it probably at like 12. So it would have made my 13. So that's the problem with continuous cores, especially in strong seasons. I digress.
Anyway, number 6, Chris.
My number 6 is Undead Unluck.
Okay.
We finally have our backstories. Andy, we get a good fucking amazing battle between Andy and Victor. Everything I said about the fucking Ano Un, how he led the characters to claim victory and his tragic story. It just did everything so well.
Okay.
You didn't static there, Chris. So whatever you're doing, there you go. There's your spot.
I don't know what I'm doing. So I'll just keep doing whatever it is I'm doing.
You're existing. Good enough.
Nice.
All right, star. Number 6 for you.
My number 6 is gushing over magical girls.
Damn, so close to top 5.
I love how he said it. I love how he said it in the ASMR format too.
Yeah, man, gushing over magical girls climbed this way for number 7 because I haven't seen anything like that I didn't have to sneak and watch and buy from the X-rated edition from the store. Like, nah, man, that shit was for them to weave a plot in there and really like it's a character driven show, and it's a crazy bunch of situations in there, and it's like, yeah, like I said, for it to be so etchy, it was just enthralling, entertaining. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's something I rewatch and I tell somebody to watch. And at this point, it's like, yeah, judge me for watching it, but fuck you. Hey, that's cool.
Is this the highest ecchi has ever been ranked on this show? Chris hasn't ranked it yet. It's gonna be higher.
I haven't ranked it yet.
He hasn't ranked it yet. Is this the highest?
For me, it's number 6. I got 5. I got a legit top 5 because I'm an anime. I have respectability when it comes to my anime reviews now. Like, I ain't trying to kill all my.
Yeah, you're the Russian judge. We know.
I ain't trying to kill all my clout, but it's definitely worthy of a number 6.
I think this. Yeah, once Chris rates it, I think this will be the highest ecchi that's ever been rated on this show, Matt.
Probably. Go ahead, 6.
My number 6 is A Sign of Affection. I rated it a little bit higher than some of y'all, but no, when it boils down to it, Sign of Affection does something that a lot of romance anime does not do, and that gives us adult aged anime. And that's something that's sorely missed in Japanese anime, for a multitude of reasons. But nonetheless, I enjoyed so many of the different aspects of A Sign of Affection when it came down to illustration, styling, musical composition, animation, visuals. I enjoyed all of it. The characters, except for Oshi, I hate Oshi. But all the other characters, well, Emma was meh. I didn't, you like the drama star, man. I'm not a big fan of it, but she fit. She definitely had her place in the show. The show would not have been the same without her. So, kudos to her from that perspective. But all the other characters, I enjoyed very much. There's an innocence when it comes to Yuki that is unmatched in recent romance anime. It's pure, blissful, unassuming innocence. And in a lot of instances in the real world, that gets you fucked over. So in some degrees, it's nice to not see her get her heart broken. But in the same degree, I kind of, I can't say I enjoy it, but I was definitely wanting, which is rare, what Starman said. I wanted a little bit more drama. I wanted a little bit more struggle. Yuki got everything that she wanted quickly, and it lasted, and that's wonderful. But there wasn't enough of a battle for me that really made me endear myself to the couple, to the relationship, such as like A Danger's in My Heart, for example. So that's one of my critiques. I enjoy Matt's jokes about the fact that all she says is Itsuomi-kun, but it kind of does seem a little bit relevant from that perspective as well. Itsuomi, as I mentioned, he's perfect. He's absolutely everything that a man should be in a relationship. If you are a woman, to Starman's point, if you had a daughter, you would want her to get with an Itsuomi because that's surefire. You're good. You got nothing to worry about. Your daughter is gonna live a happy life. I enjoyed the fuck out of Rin. Rin was amazing. She was one of my top girls of the season for me just because of how she was. She was very supportive of Yuki in multiple ways. She really stood out from that perspective. Itsuomi's cousin was a wonderful man. He was also, pretty good from that perspective. I enjoyed him very much. And to Starman's point as well that he had made earlier in the night, the principle of sign language. I've only ever seen one other sign language anime. There aren't that many. I'm talking about what's it called? Silent Voice. And that hits different notes clearly than A Sign of Affection does. But I will say that the principle of looking at a deaf woman, a woman, or a person of disablement and not judging them for their inabilities, but rather looking at their abilities and accentuating all the amazing points about them is something that more of humanity in the real life should really look at. I'm guilty of making a bunch of cripple jokes. I love making cripple jokes. I love making all sorts of fucked up jokes. But when it boils down to the reality of looking at,
he's so disappointed.
What? That's like
the way you said that with a powerful straight face. Man, I make cripple jokes. I love making cripple jokes.
Like, I'll push him down. I'll push him down the stairs. Just
no, you wanted to see somebody get Darby Allin like an hour and a half ago, man. I don't want to hear that from you. But no,
that's okay. We're not like a wheelchair or anything like that. There's just Have you seen Saki Nagata? Yeah, she's a bitch. Fuck her.
Bro, you see the girl with the cane? Kick that bitch down the stairs. No, but back to my point. It just there's just something to be said about that. Where just because they're disabled means that they're not able-personed. They are of sound mind. They do have feelings. They do have a heart. They do have desires and dreams. And to see that come to fruition within the anime is really nice to see from that perspective. And I would say lastly, for A Sign of Affection, just the sign language portion that Starman mentioned, just it's nice to just really see different languages. Like, this show made me want to go and learn sign language. I'm already trying to learn Japanese, and yet here I am. I want to learn Korean. I want to learn sign language. There's something that's really heartwarming of being able to effectively articulate yourself through sign language. I think that doesn't get captured enough, or doesn't get talked about enough in reality. So I thought that was a wonderful piece to the overall anime. So
number 6 for me is also Sign of Affection.
Woo! 2 in a row, Matt.
No, I did wish I had a little bit of drama, especially from Emma. Like, just finding out, hey, the guy I've been trying to fuck for years, all of a sudden has this girl, and all of a sudden it's just, I see. No confronted Izumi, saying like "what the fuck" type of thing. Like none of that. She just accepted it. Like after all this time, just okay.
I feel like they did that so they didn't paint Itsuomi in a bad light because they
But no,
could.
I'm sure he can talk his way out of it. He wouldn't be a bad guy. Just tell the truth. Like, hey, I liked you as a friend. That's it. I only see you as a friend. Nothing more, nothing less.
You know what I wanted? I wanted the. I always. You guys. Some of you guys. Many of you guys. I think don't like Snafu climax. The heartbreak that Yui endures in that is forever etched in my mind. And when it comes to scenarios like that, I would like to see more of that because that just hits the soul. If you are of that mindset, it hits you so hard and so differently. That's kind of what I was hoping for with Emma. Emma has a Yui moment where she just breaks down and she's just lost all like reason for like that moment in time where everything that she's ever hoped and dreamed for just came and just fucking got crushed. And then we get Shin come in and Shin plays Captain Save-A-Ho and fucking gets her.
Yeah. But like outside of Rin and Kyoya, I did not care about the supporting cast. So people like Shin, Oishi, Emma, like the stuff like their situation there, like they did that to themselves, and I'm supposed to feel bad for you? No.
For sure, Oishi, for sure, Emma. I feel like Shin is very relatable, and that's why he gets a little bit more
he
of a
put
pass.
himself there. That's the thing. Yeah, realistic, sure, but like, why should I give a fuck for something that you did?
He did.
Yeah, so why do I fucking care? Emma did the same thing, and fucking Oshi does. Instead of trying to show interest, he just did like, okay, you stupid. Like, no, dude, you're a fucking idiot yourself. So don't do.
He acted like a child. He was a petulant child, and then when he
So,
didn't get what he
I was
wanted,
gonna say, like, I just could not care less about any of them for that respect, except for Rin and Kyoya. They were the only two sane people in terms of the supporting cast. Izumi, sure, great. Yuki, I'm like, I can take her or leave it for her. Like, she pretty girl, don't get me wrong, but outside of that, she just seemed like a generic self-insert shoujo protagonist. That was it. Like, that's all. You know what you're getting out of her, and that's really all there is to it. She's naive with the love it's fresh to her. I get it. I understand, but it's just not much though.
Are you taking Yuki, or are you taking the girl from the what's it called? The show that everyone called Bland Meat Ass. I forget her name now. That's how it mattered.
Which one?
Mahiru. You taking Yuki or Mahiru?
Neither. Fucking neither. I guess if you want someone to cook for me, Mahiro, sure, but that's fucking it.
At least you can.
That's really it. Nah, like this. I don't know. It's just stuff like that. Like it's like they just played it too safe. It's a real more realistic romance, sure, but it's just too safe. It's a honeymoon phase thing. It's not something you can see for like half a season. Like I want something, and it's just there. Especially when you know you're probably not gonna get a sequel. It's comfort.
There's still stuff to it, but yeah.
That's it. It's comfort, but that's it. That's fine. That's all you're watching for. Fine. More power to you. But as a whole, though, like there could have been more, and it's just too linear for my taste. Okay, number 5.
Top 5.
My number 5. Most of these are going to be continuous or continuing. My number 5 is fucking Ragnar Crimson. It did really fucking good. It kept the show going strong after season 1. They did not deviate from the formula. Have awesome fights. Have people dying on Ragnar. It was great.
Okay.
Good.
Starman?
My number 5. My number 5 was Freerin Beyond Dragon.
Wow.
You thought I wasn't gonna include it on my list? You thought I was just gonna omit Freerin?
No, we thought you were
No. I expected you to put it like 8, 7. There's anything that was higher rated, just on the bottom.
9 or some shit. Like I know.
Overhyped. Ubel saved it.
Freerin was top 5. No, what Freerin did, if we do want to talk about this, 'cause I'm gonna make this brief. Freerun did a great job of introducing characters and make you care about the characters it introduced. More so to that point, Freerun, there were a lot of female characters. It's like all the best characters were female characters. Like I hate that just Stark, bro.
Took
I
a
don't know what the
backseat.
fuck happened. He became irrelevant. I hated that. He fought that one dragon, but for the most part, what the fuck are you leveling up for? Because I'm not gonna see that shit this season. It's pointless. You know what I'm saying? But
He's the bag carrier, bro.
I get it. But in the midst of that, they gave me Ubel. They gave me like every other female character. We got to see the link between Freeren's teacher and Freeren's teacher's teacher. You know, the Living Grimoire. Like we
The
got to
first meeting
see
between
Pride
Himmel and Siren.
from the trials when they had to fight, you know, Clay Freeren and Clay Fern. You know, and you know, Fern leveled up. Fern just kept rising to the occasion. She was an exceptional like prodigy, and she just lived up to the expectations everybody set for her. One thing I didn't like about Freerun, why it couldn't get no higher than 5, is I've tried to recommend this show to several friends who like anime, who like adventure, who like Tolkien, who like Lord of the Rings, Middle Earth shit. Each friend I have introduced Freeman to has dropped it. I have not been able to successfully get one friend to watch Freerun. After the first 3 or 4 episodes, they all drop it. They all drop it. It's like everybody who I say, hey man, I say, watch Freerun. They watch it. It's like, bro, I can't get into it, bro. This shit boring, bro. It ain't nothing but a bunch of walking. I was like, it get good. You know what I'm saying? It's like, but and then I was like, well, here's a clip of her fighting the demons. And they like, I guess since I show them the clip, it's like, oh, I mean, do they do that the whole season? Nah, just this one time. I'm good. And they just kind of leave it at that. The best part of the first season of Freeman was when she fought the demons. That fight with her and fighting the Ara the guillotine. Oh, that was fantastic. Fern fighting and start fighting the demons. Fantastic. The second part, it was absolutely when they got to the trials to become the mage, the first class mage. But everything in between those moments was dull. But the scenery was amazing. The opening song was amazing. The ending song was amazing. The backgrounds were amazing. The animation was amazing. The fights was amazing when they did happen. But Freerun is like a lot of talking. I don't care about. And then they introduced, the healer who was with them for a while, and then he wasn't. It's just Freerun never became the show I wanted it to be. But I couldn't deny how brilliant it was based off of how good I heard it was. I think Freerun, by no means is Freerun better than Full Metal Alchemist, and it does not deserve to be number 1 on MAL or any list. That is Freerun. I can name 100 anime better than Freerun. It's top 100. I'll give you that. But number 1 of all time, fuck out of here. But it is in my top 5.
I will accept it for now.
I can name 100. Like if you want me, we ain't got the time. Otherwise, I just crank 9.
Type it out one day,
I
bro.
know you.
When you're born at work, bro. When you're born at work, do it. Do it up. Send it in the group chat, or put it in the group.
I got you.
In Kate.
I don't know. It's just hilarious that people who love choking were complaining that Freerun is just too much walking.
Yeah, too much,
bro.
Yeah, it's like what the fuck, yeah.
Bro, I watched fucking the Tolkien movies when I watched Lord of the Rings when I was like,
yeah. I guess they don't. I guess they didn't want to see it split into episodes. That's all.
Because there's no Gollum, there's no fucking creepy guy with a ring that's attached to the other guy wanting to throw him in a volcano, motherfuckers.
Excuse me.
Anyway.
I don't know, man. That's my 5 though.
Yeah,
Number 5 for me is solo leveling because I am easy to please. That is fucking why. No, y'all make great points earlier in terms of why you rated it lower than me. I'm not going to invalidate them because they make a lot of sense. But quite simply, I am easy to please. I am an action junkie. I enjoyed all the action. I enjoyed the blood, the gore. I enjoyed the animation. I thought it lived up to the hype. Maybe not like, oh my god, this is insanity, but for a good first season, this was a really solid first season for me. I thought this would we made the comparison with Attack on Titan. I thought solo leveling level 1 or season 1 at 12 episodes. If you were to do the same comparison with Attack on Titan at 12 episodes, this is much better than Attack on Titan first season at 12 episodes in, for me, no doubt about that. You know what I mean? So again, it really boils down to, quite frankly, I am easy to please. The action was absolutely stupendous. Animation was great. Musical composition is solid. And the thing that keeps me, like you said, Matt, invested is just the sheer hype, the sheer volume of the fan base that tells you, like, oh, you ain't seen a fucking thing yet. I hold on to that, and I pray that it does live up to that expectation. I do expect it to live up to that expectation based off of what we got. But yeah, I enjoyed the shit out of it. It was great. But to me, I have 4 other shows that I enjoyed more.
Alrighty, number 5 for me is Classroom of the Elite Season 3.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I will say though, like, the top 4 are ones I like loved, but the rest is just I enjoyed some stuff.
Yeah.
I really do. I feel like I was watching season 1 of Classroom, which what got me hooked into the show in the first place. So I like there was some change in certain characters, especially Horikita. I forgot that the blonde guy's name, the one that was like the class rep.
Incho.
And with Ayana Koji, seemed like he is trying to be this one to help out. And you see at the very end, he's still that cold, calculating. I will beat you down if I have to. Like, he hasn't changed, even though he wants to like be away from that white room. Like, there's still part of him there. Like we saw, like it's just small certain character changes. Kushida still needs to fucking go, as you said, Starman. Oh my god. I do wish I had more Manabu, the brother. I'm more interested in the new student council president. He does seem like a dick, but I want to see what his next move. Like, I like the plans of how they're trying to do it. That's what always gets me intrigued. It's like a battle of wits, and that's what it really is. Like trying to outsmart one or the other with these plans, backup plans. This one wasn't too over convoluted compared to season 2. That's why I made it more like, okay, interesting, okay. But that's really all of it. Like, I enjoyed it. I'm hoping for more. I know year 1 is done. I know there's no season 4 confirmed yet, but I'm sure they'll adapt year 2, which I'm more intrigued with that. We'll definitely see some new, fresh faces to keep it engaging, basically, because I think we need more of those classmates because people are gone, more people are going to come in. So I want to see what they bring to the table, to what can make that more interesting. So it's an investment for me for that. So yeah, that's why number 5, Classroom Season 3.
How does Ayana Koji get to the top?
By pushing everyone down into the dirt.
By asking girls to open their legs.
That's it.
That's just the one, and I like Karizawa, so. No, we got stuff from Ichinose too, so that was always.
Besides open her legs, yes.
Anyway, number 4.
My number 4 is Shangri-La Frontier. We got this huge ass boss fight. We got this Sanraku going on his own to grind for materials against these fucking bullshit scorpions who just one-shot him, but he finds a good old hack due to his glory days of playing trash games. It was just fucking amazing. I loved every piece of it.
Nice.
Nice.
My number 4 is Signs of Affection.
No, that was fair. I kind of figured.
Signs of Affection, like I said, Signs of Affection had my favorite couple. I felt it was the best romance. It was realistic. I related to everyone. In the end, it's nice to see everybody win. In the end, everybody won, except Oshi. But hey, man, bro, fuck it, bro. You were mean to this girl, bro. You made your bed. You gotta lie in it. Everybody made their bed, like Matt said. Everybody had to suffer the consequences, but that didn't mean that they were not worthy of of love, but everybody made their bed. You know what I'm saying? Like every situation they was in, it was their fault. But they learn from their mistakes, and you know, everybody just kind of put themselves out there. That's one thing I like about it. I feel like it represents the most important aspect about love or relationships or even getting shit off the ground is you just got to put yourself out there. You just got to be sincere about your feelings, know yourself, know how you feel, and just put yourself out there, and you never know what happens. I thought it was really powerful, inspirational, and really just sweet. And plus, like the animation, just the animation, the watercolors, the introspection. Even though Yuki never talked, whenever she thought, we got to hear her thoughts, and we got to see her thoughts, how she feels, how shy she was, how cute she was. I thought all of that was just amazing. Like, it was everything. It was almost everything I liked from Loving Yamada. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Signs.
Yamato is better than me than
Signs of
honestly.
Affection. Yamada. I would say yeah. I think Yamada. I think Loving Yamada is better than Signs of Affection.
Agreed.
Yeah,
But both of them are 4 out of 5. Freeman was my you know, well, put it like this: Gushing Over Magical Girls was a 4 out of 5. Freeman was a 4 out of 5. Signs of Affection is a 4 out of 5. So yeah, man, these are my three of my first 4 out of 5s, man. It's solid.
yeah. I gave Witch 4.25. I gave Signs about 4.25, 4.5. Solos 4.5.
But yeah, that's all I got.
Before for me, Ragnar Crimson.
Okay.
Ragnar Crimson is a show that it started off to me a tiny bit slow, but again progressively picked up every single week, more and more higher stakes, more and more action, more and more death, more and more questions, more and more drama, and everything gets resolved over the course of time with more and more death, more and more action, more and more fights, more and more just character development. The character development is super massive. One thing that I really hate that nobody ever talks about is the fact that they have not brought Ragnar's original companion back. They have not brought that girl back. She is just fucked off into oblivion. Nobody knows where the fuck she is at, and that kind of irks me. I'd like to have seen at some point her, like, randomly, like just a random like tidbit of her, like, oh, I wonder how Ragnar's doing, or see her fighting and be like struggling maybe without Ragnar.
I wanted her to come back, but you right, they did not bring her back.
They didn't bring her back, bro. And like, I understand, like, she was progressively like weak by comparison once Ragnar learned to hone his powers, and now Ragnar could fucking like insta kill her. But still, like, she was the impetus to why Ragnar existed in the first place. And then he magically got these powers, and then quote unquote cared about her, and then kicked that bitch to the side, never to be seen again. I thought that was a little. That's one of my biggest gripes about Ragnar, quite frankly, is that particular piece. It seems minuscule, but it kind of grinds my gears when I think of Ragnar. But no, as a whole, I enjoyed the Grizzly Death. I enjoyed the many battles. Starman was a tremendous influence for me on Ragnar. I would have probably, without Starman talking to me about Ragnar on a consistent basis, I probably would have put Ragnar at like fucking 7. Honestly, I would have put Witch and Beast and Sign of Affection and Solo above Ragnar. But if it wasn't for Starman pulling out like his points, putting out like the cross comparisons between the animes, the callbacks, that certainly sets that above most anime. Anytime you can bring back a callback and make it flawless, make it legit, make it fucking like seamless, those are always points in your bag as far as I'm concerned. And Ragnar certainly does that on multiple occasions. The finale was another piece of small consternation for me because of the fact that it's just so over the top ridiculous with the way the battle was. It was fucking cool to watch, but just on principle, it was just so fucking like, it was the equivalent, Matt, since you didn't watch it. The finale with them in space fighting was like the equivalent of fucking Zaraki Kenpachi surviving space.
Bro, that face fight was awesome, bro. I don't give a fuck.
It was an awesome fucking fight. It was awesome as fuck, but it was that like fucking obscene for me. Like, really? Is this what we're fucking doing?
Rockman embodied a silver comet, and he had to fight this legendary sword. This dude embodied he was the only dragon who absorbed like a sword, bro. So it was like a sword versus a sword. Who gonna win? And
yeah,
then,
no, it was. And go ahead. No, I was just gonna say, like, to all of Starman's points of what he's mentioned tonight about Ragnar Crimson, just the growth, the determination, the willpower, finding it from many sources, including finding love and endearment and admiration for Starlia, working with Crimson, who he knew was just fucking like double faced and knew like that may backfire, but knowing that he absolutely needed her, that without Crimson there, Ragnar would have not gotten to where he was beyond a shadow of a doubt. That was good. I hated Slime at first, and Slime grew on me. So Slime wasn't that bad toward the end. So Starman knew I hated the fuck out of Slime early on, but Slime really showed out, so was worthy definitely of the praise that Slime gets. And yeah, I enjoyed the hell out of it for what it was worth. I was never disappointed. Like for multiple weeks on end, up until the finale, I was not disappointed at all by Ragnar Crimson. It was consistent. It was strong. It was great action. Honestly, my last point of small consternation is just the animation. I wish it was more vivid, more bright. Yeah, like that. If it would have been on solo level of animation, I would have put this probably at like 2. If I'm being honest, if it was solo level animation, I would have bumped this bitch to 2. But still, it was still solid. Musical composition, solid. It's not something that's like, oh my god, the piece de resistance, but it's not insulting. It's not out of place. It fits. So yeah, Ragnar Crimson, number 4.
Number 4, Mashal season 2. I fucking love Mashal. Still the humor's there, the action's there. Especially the action, they definitely kicked up with that. This would have been a little bit higher, except for the week finale. I wish I had a more conclusion in terms of Divine Visionary, but you'll get to that later, Sean. So, but just more outside of that. Again, I fucking loved it. I saw the soundtracks, OpenED, fantastic. Exactly. And the characters are still fun. We got more of it in Season 0. What his deal is with it, and I'm all for the ride. I'm all on the ride. I don't know when we'll get a Season 3, but I hope soon, because this is just too good to pass up.
I'm about to just tell Karen, fuck it, I'm gonna watch it, like binge it at some point, and just fucking go through it so I can catch up myself. Because I was like, oh, Karen wants to see it. And I'm like, okay, I'll watch it with you. Do you want to watch it? No, I want to fucking just chill. Okay, well, I guess we can fucking chill. But I wanted to watch Ragnar a little bit. Or not Ragnar, I wanted to watch fucking Mash a little bit. But all right, is what it is. I'm not going to deny what we want to do. So
Number 3.
Yeah. Fear and Beyond Journey's End.
Okay.
I love it. I love the adventure. I love the journey of seeing Fearin taking in her what?
No, like there's 2 left. No. No.
You'll have to see.
Oh my fucking. Oh no. I fucking knew it. I fucking knew it.
Oh, Matt, you gonna fight me for it?
I will fucking fight you.
Here we go. The last battle of the night.
Oh, I fucking continue.
Whose arms are too short to box with God?
I fucking loved how Fearin was discovering her emotions that have been just sort of dead throughout most of her life, and realizing her regret after Himmel passed.
I'm sorry, Matt's face while you're talking about it, you're being serious, and Matt is just still on his soapbox about what the fuck.
Don't worry. Don't worry.
No, you're fine. No, you're fine with freedom. You're fine with freedom, but the realization of what's left.
Yeah, and don't forget. Also, I'm gonna wait for my number 2 and my number 1 because they're sort of tied together in how I rated them. So I'm gonna for next one, I'm gonna go last on my number 2, last on my number 2 and first for my number 1, if that's okay with you guys.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay, we can do that.
All right, that's my number 3. Hope you're ready, Matt.
Oh my god.
All right. My number 3 was Undead Unluck.
Good
Undead
pick.
Unluck did not get as nearly enough love as it should have gotten. Like the whole world of the negators, like it kept going to a place where it was just you had undead who couldn't die, you had unluck who was just not lucky. Like everybody had a tragic backstory. Like unlucky, she hugged her parents before they got on the plane, and her unluck made her parents' plane just blow up. So that's how she lost her parents. There was one girl who, when she got her force field, it obliterated her parents. Like while she was at her birthday party. I think one of the most tragic one was Unknown. Unknown disappeared in front of his mom, and his mom couldn't find him for like the next 30 years of his life. And he didn't discover he could be seen in the real world until he created a new identity. So he drew himself to be a woman, and poof, now he can exist in the real world. But by the time he did that, his mom's already on her deathbed. So it's everybody has a tragic backstory. When you see Andy fight Victor, Victor's like, bro, I've been around longer before I was Andy. Like they had to fight. Victor was fierce. He was ruthless. He killed Foucault. When he killed Foucault, that's when I knew that this shit was just different. When he was like, he just looked at him and was like, I don't need you coming in here learning about our memories. I'm gonna kill you every time you come back. And he killed her like 100 times. Like every time she popped up, pow, pow, he just would pop up and kill her because he didn't want her getting those memories. So 100 years of his memories, she never got a chance to see because she got killed. Victor wasn't playing. But then when you find out there's a love story with Victor, who he used to love and who Andy used to love, and it's like everybody has so much to fight for. Everybody's backstory is tragic. Everybody has a loss that they just can't overcome. And everybody is just trying to like save the world when the world keeps changing. And maybe it's better off with the change. It asks a lot of important questions. It makes you question your mentality at the same time. But I thought it was a phenomenal anime. It was ecchi at times, and sometimes people compare the fan service to Fire Force. Sometimes it was pointless. But I won't dismiss that claim, but I still enjoyed it nonetheless because it was no show I've seen that's really like it. It was very original.
Okay. Number 3, Ethan.
Dangers in My Heart, season 2.
Okay.
Dangers in My Heart. You saw that coming?
Yeah.
I mean, I talked about 2 and 1 all for the last 2 seasons. I've talked about 2 and 1, so that should be no shock. But no, Dangers in My Heart, season 2. Everybody knows that listens to the show that has heard me in the past talk about Dangers in My Heart. I was not a big fan of the early pieces of season 1. Almost dropped it because, quite frankly, it was at first it was literally just the school shooter meets the girl with an eating disorder, and they fucking click. That was kind of annoying. But over the course of season 1, they grew tremendously, especially for Ichikawa. Matt makes that point pretty often when he talks about Dangers in My Heart. Season 2 is no exception. The continual growth of both of them is leaps and bounds above what happened during season 1. I think one of the things that draws me to Dangers in My Heart so much is the fact that they do the teenage angst pieces of adolescence so well. To me, it's on par with how Rascal, we talked about Rascal last week, Matt, how Rascal does it. Where it's a prime example of what teenagers in that type of timeline, in real life and within the story itself of the anime, what they deal with on a consistent basis. The unknown, the fear of the unknown, the uncertainty of hormones and feelings, and how they dictate actions, insecurities, misunderstandings. They touch on all these subjects, and the way that Ichikawa and Yamada overcome and persevere through their own individual shortcomings, by using the other person to galvanize themselves as well as that other person in whatever circumstance, is really truly a sight to behold from that perspective. It really puts in perspective that idea that it's okay to go through the things that they go through, because of the fact that A, you're going to come out better for it. B, there is truly a worthwhile reward through going through the struggle that they go through. And it ends up making the finale of that show, like we had both mentioned, one of the better finales to a rom-com that we've seen in quite a long time. That payoff at the end, where they finally get together after the carrot's been dangled, to Starman's point, for perhaps maybe a little excessively long. But nonetheless, that payoff really, really, really stands out as truly tremendous. I can understand Starman's point to where it was expected. It wasn't groundbreaking to him because this was always going to be the payoff that the road led to, but it didn't take away from the fact that it was still done tremendously well. The backdrops, the moments, the build up to that was really, really, really spectacular. To Matt's point, the chase. Normally I'm not a big fan of the chase. I get annoyed at the chase when it goes too long, but this didn't go too long. This felt like it was built properly. It really much, feels like because Matt and I love wrestling. It really feels like a wrestling buildup. It feels like that in terms of the beginning, the middle, the end. This is actual like premier storytelling, in my humble opinion. As we mentioned already, the visuals for this season are absolutely fantastic. The colors, bright, vivid. The eyes that I talk about when it comes to visuals, eyes are all pronounced. They give you depth, they give you feeling, they give you emotion, they give you what's it called, insight and substance. They give you substance to the story. They add to that piece. The side characters are all funny in their own ways and add to Yamada and Ichikawa in their moments as well. I thought that they did that quite. They wrote those characters quite well, where they don't overstay their welcome, but they each contribute in minor but significant ways. It's an oxymoron, but it is fitting from that perspective. Musical composition is exceptionally well. Love that. The parents for both, the family circumstances for both, are all very, well done as well. Normally when you have premier romances, there normally is one or perhaps both of the couple that have some sort of family circumstance that makes their life circumstance more difficult. In a way, you can say that's a little boring, but I feel that it helps both couples because of the fact that they have, liberal parents that understand and let them go through their feelings and emotions and let them sort them out, and they're supportive and they care. And that's always helpful from any real life or anime perspective from that piece. And yeah, I enjoy the hell out of Dangers in My Heart season 2. It was everything that we wanted and then some. I think, quite frankly, we definitely got more than what we expected for Dangers in My Heart, and I was really grateful for that. If it wasn't for the fact that I harped on the other two, this may be a number one, but just the length, the time for the other two, and then just the way that personally I would look at it, not relating as much to Dangers in a way versus like being able to pull pieces from my 2 and 1, I think puts it at 3. But nonetheless, this was fantastic. Ragnar was a 4.5. This is my first 5. Dangers in My Heart season 2. Absolutely love it. Would 1000% recommend it for any fan of romance. And anybody, I would say also, that has adolescent youth that they may be able to pull from, whether the youth will, be able to pull ideas from the show, how Ichikawa and Yamada deal with their shortcomings and struggles, and also the parents' perspective, and seeing that from a third party perspective, and being able to recognize signs, as I've always said with Rascal as well. So
okay, number 3, Apothecary Diaries. As I preferred the first half. Aside from like the last 4 to 5 episodes of the second part of the core, I didn't care that much from the beginning. I probably felt like it was kind of like filler, or even that it was just not interesting.
Great news.
But I like the addition of Locken, and the payoff for him was great. Still visually pleasing. Love the insert songs, the musical composition. Animation is nice. Mad she grew a little bit. That was really because we did talk about it plenty, especially during after the first half. Like I still thoroughly enjoyed it. The first half a little bit stronger, but aside from the last few with the second half, that was just exceptional. I am still very happy with it. It's in my top 3 for a reason. And with the other 2 that I got left, yeah, I couldn't put it above that. That's all it boiled down to. Number 2, Starman, since Chris will be last.
All right. Man, my number 1 and 2 kept me on my toes, like as far as determining what's gonna be 1, what's gonna be 2. And I really had to sit down and think about the pros and cons. Ultimately, I was able to, center myself, meditate on it, and come up with the correct answer. My number 2 anime of the season, runner-up to anime of the season, is Shangri-La Frontier.
Wow, I expect that to be number 1.
Shangri-La Frontier was fun. Every episode was fun. It was so much fun. Even the episodes that I'm sure were filler didn't feel like filler because he was doing a side quest. He's doing the main quest. They introduced Emil after a few episodes, and I just adore that little rabbit to death. She is just adorable. She is funny. She is cute. And you meet her sisters. You meet her dad. He trains. That first fight he had, that scarred him, changed him. Now he has to level up and keep fighting. You get to see some of the trash games that he plays in and some of the trash games that he is known for. You get to meet one of his best friends who is a international streamer, who is a popular game streamer. He has his online account. Then you have his other friend that played with him who she's a model. But in the game, she's a straight up sadist. Like she's just ruthless. She's a player killer. So they all get together. They fight the Tomb Guardian, which was like one of the best fights it was the best fight of the whole anime. The only reason I give this anime number 2 is the recommendation factor. As much as I can praise Shangri-La Frontier as being one of the premier anime, it's everything that I tell people. Look, if you like Solo Leveling, you'll like Shangri-La. Just watch that instead. The issue with Shangri-La Frontier is if you're not a gamer, if you don't care about games, you don't play games, you're probably not going to be invested. You're probably just going to be like, okay, yeah, this is cool, but there's no plot. There's no story. He's just wandering around looking for stuff to do with his friends. There's no bad guy. There is no enemy. There are goals that you want to accomplish in the game, but he's not trying to get to the final boss. He's not trying to collect 100 medallions. He's not trying to get a potion. He's not trying to get rich. He's just grinding, playing a game he's having his life with. And it makes me as a gamer feel like, yeah, bro, that's what we in it for, just to have fun. That shit is just fun. You feel like you playing the game. You really want to play Shangri-La for real. But sometimes it does feel like he's just wandering, doing nothing, and there aren't any real consequences. There are stakes. They're definitely high stakes. But he doesn't have the plot armor that like Jinwoo or some of these other characters have. You don't really need that plot armor. It's a game. He logs in, he logs out, he plays it. It's not on no SAO type shit where if you die in the game, you die in real life. It ain't none of that. And I feel like people may closely want it to be Solo Leveling or want it to be Sword Art Online, and it's not. It's a lot more playful. It's a lot more fun, but it's still a 4.5 out of 5. Like it's still one of the top 2 best anime I've seen. And to make matters worse, this is the main reason why, before I wrap this up, the main reason why I just couldn't give it number 1 is because we're not done. We're in the fall. We're getting another season, 26 episodes. It's going to run through fall. It's going to run through fall 2024 all the way into winter 2025. We're getting 50 plus episodes of this show, like consecutively. So I'm just over the moon excited about the aspect. I'm gonna get another season and 2 cores of it, but I have to give it 2 because it's not enough has happened yet for me to give it 1. Nothing concluded. It literally left me on a string waiting for, thinking he was gonna get a rematch with that wolf he fought, and that didn't happen. So number 2.
Ethan.
Number 2 for me, Apothecary Diaries. I love this show from the moment that it came out. I think I'm in agreement with you, Matt. I think I like Core 1 slightly more than Core 2. Not by much, but I do agree from that perspective. Um, Mao Mao was my protagonist of the season. She carried the show, rightfully so. Neko Mao Mao was one of my Neko Mao Mao is almost my equivalent to Ubel for y'all. I just loved it. Ubel's Ubel though. I'm still on Team Ubel for sure. But nonetheless, Mao Mao was a great character. She again, just her sleuthing skills as an apothecary, no less, were tremendous. When we got the backstory of her actual parents, you get the idea for sure of where she gets that lineage from for her sleuthing skills. She does act at times a little cold, and very calculated, not like Ayana Koji level, but nonetheless, she does come across that way. But she also does it because she has basic human decency, which sometimes in olden Chinese times, was lacking from that perspective. So it's nice to have someone that has different hats from that piece and understands circumstances, can read the room, understand what's required, and put her best skill sets that she has forward in order to achieve what she needs to achieve in that moment and overall for the entire series. Jinshi is a tremendous character. They built intrigue for Jinshi, which is one of the things that I enjoyed very much and why I'm so looking forward to season 2, because I have a feeling that that's going to really come into play from that perspective. Is what's Jinshi's relationship to the actual to the king, in essence, to the emperor.
Isn't he his bastard? Isn't he the bastard son of the
He
emperor?
is the bastard, and
At birth?
to see that how that's going to come into play is going to be marvelous. The foreshadowing, one of the biggest things that I loved about Apothecary Diaries that I still think about when I think of the series is the foreshadowing Mao Mao had with Jinshi. I believe it was in episode 12 or 13. It was fairly late and or early on where she had that moment with him and they talked about death. This was after the woman was revealed to have killed the Courtesans' babies, or not the Courtesan, the Lady in Waiting's babies, whatever the case would be. Nonetheless, she mentioned, she's like, if I'm going to be executed, please do it with poison. That's how I prefer to die. That's insane retrospective foreshadowing that will come into play at some point before this series is over, from that piece. And I love that aspect of it. All the other side characters were all welcome. They all contributed, whether that be in a comedic value or whether that be toward the purpose of Mao Mao figuring out the story. At first, in Core 1, there was a little bit of a love story. It's a little bit less drawn out, but in that same regard, there becomes a comfortability. As I mentioned previously, Mao Mao and Jinshi were both using each other in different aspects, but have come to grow, come to appreciate each other, despite the fact that their relationship is a bit quirky compared to most, but it works. It absolutely works. And just seeing Mao Mao again with that like sinister idea in her head that surrounds the resurrection drug, as well as the fact that that woman got one over on her and her wanting to fucking get back at her and understand what she didn't understand before. I thought that was wonderful. And her relationship with the girls was amazing. With the Courtesian girls at Verdiga's house, that shaped how she was, shaped her view of life, from different aspects as well. And like I said, the mysteries were all fun. Mysteries were all fun, unique, maybe a tiny bit predictable, but nonetheless, still very, very enjoyable. And it's a show that makes you like think. It keeps you on edge. It's not like a classroom of the elite like what you guys watch. I don't watch that show, but to a lesser degree, there is that battle of wits. There is that intrigue from that perspective. And the 24 episodes I thought were just splendidly well done. That finale was absolutely fantastic. We got resolution with her family, and we built towards something else as we go along. Musical composition absolutely stellar. They got the tunes of old Chinese times done wonderful. The OP for both seasons was great, especially in Core 2. The ED for both seasons was fantastic as well. The animation, superb. One of the absolutely best animated shows of the season and of the last couple years, you would say.
Whoa.
Same thing with colors. Vibrant, bold, accentuating, but not over the top. Same thing with, as I mentioned, with eyes, with facial expressions. All done tremendously. All give you depth, character, understanding. Emotions, feelings, substance. The key is substance when I say these things. If a show can give you substance based off of the animation, that is fantastic. Apothecary Diaries was one hell of a ride. I am ecstatic it got picked up for a season 2. I cannot wait to see season 2. And yeah, I gave it number 2.
Number 2, Dangers in My Heart. I personally have not. There was not a single episode where I went, "This is stupid," or I didn't enjoy it. It's still the quality from season 1, like the end of season 1, towards season 2. It still continued. It still progressed. We got more growth from Yamada to Ishikawa. You know what? Is it predictable? Sure, but that doesn't always automatically equal bad. If you write it well enough, people will get interested. That's why people watch. I know people said it's, like all voting just to make it number 1. Like, people do enjoy it, and there's nothing wrong with that. And I just loved everything about it. The shading, the lighting, the music with it. Just seeing how it ended. I already said before, if we don't get more, because the manga's still going, fine, I'm satisfied. I'm satisfied with what we had. But if we get more, sure, sign me up. I want to see how they maintain that. Now we saw them grow more as individuals. Now we get to see them grow together. And that's the part that I am looking forward to with them as that couple. So the chase is always good because it's worth it more in the end once you stick around. It's not for everybody, sure. That is fine, but if that is something that makes you get interested, then you're in for a treat, because that's what it was for me. It was a treat for me. It says, but I couldn't give it number 1. But in terms of just straight up winter shows, this was probably the better winter show. So yeah, number 1, Dangers of My Heart, season 2.
Okay, Chris.
That's
All right,
my
Chris, go ruin my life.
Oh,
Okay, fine. If you want to be that way, I'll talk about the show that everyone already knows about. Gushing Over Magical Girls Season 2.
Is what?
Season 2. Gushing Over Magical Girls. This show, to me, saved anime. This show saved anime. And I'm completely serious. They took a show that by no means should have gotten away with as much as it did, and they showed it all. They showed the Yuri. They showed the BDSM. They showed the cute scenes too, and they had great characters. They adapted this show really well, and I'm glad they did. And that's why I gave it my number 2.
Okay. I thought you gave it number 1. I was like, oh, yeah.
That's great. I'm glad you did. And as no one has noticed, I'm now that one guy who adapts the serve, because my number 1 fucking went above and beyond with its adaptation. I'm talking about Dangers of the Heart Season 2.
Okay.
Wow. Okay.
Hold on. Starman, where'd you have it? 10?
Yeah.
And I went 3, 2, 1. Okay.
Okay.
I'm an outlier.
From dumb little things that didn't need to be there, like Ichikawa singing the little beginning of Bokuwa. I fucking love that. The opening during karaoke, to what finally, like, Gushing was originally number 1 for the last 5 weeks. But that was until the final episode came out for Dangers of the Heart, where it was amazing what they did with the title of the episode, where when Kyoto and Anna, like, admitted their feelings to each other. they had the title card play in that point. That little things like that for an adaptation helps like helped win this show over for me for number one. It has redefined what I should expect for good anime to do instead of uh, doing the bare bones minimum to just like get panel over panel or just to show what is needed, or unlike some shows, do the bare minimum and you know hope for the best. But yeah, Danger of the Heart season 2 has won my number one for winter.
Okay, I feel better now. I thought you were doing gushing as number one. That's why I was getting concerned.
It was number one.
I know, but you didn't keep it, so we're fine.
He shifted it back. Oh man. I have no problem with Dangerous, just so we're clear. I gave it my 10. I stand on what I gave it. I'm glad you guys love it. It didn't hit me the same, unfortunately. But
that's fair.
But you know, that's fair. That's absolutely fair. It was another point I was gonna make in lieu of that, but it's irrelevant. I can't think of it. I don't care. My number one anime of the whole season. It's Rotten the Crimson.
Yeah.
Rotten the Crimson was my number one. The anime callback. It had best boy. It had best boy, best girl, best protagonist, best fight, best action. Like from the Dragon Ball Z callbacks to the Naruto callbacks, like it's just it was. I can sell anybody who's not even. I feel like I could sell any anime fan on this show. Like, bro, just give this shit like 3 episodes. Give it 2. Give it 1. And you
2.
You like
one,
that.
yeah. 2, yeah.
But I think with the action with the dragons, it was a shame Leo didn't come back. I really wanted Leo to join the party and kind of like turn the tide, but they left her in the dust, and that shit just kept going and going and going. And initially, when you see the setup for Leo, I'm thinking, oh, this just gonna be black. This gonna be Black Summoner again. Like I've seen this before. I thought it was gonna be some run of the mill B anime that you just watch on High Dive to kill time. I didn't expect this shit to go as hard as it did. It went too hard, too consistent. It raised the bar for what I expect. Like I agree with Ethan. The animation, I would love if the animation was better. If the animation was on the same level as Shangri-La Frontier or something like Solo Level when it had its action sequences. It was certain times where I felt like, hey man, like y'all biting off more than y'all can chew. But they worked them animators hard, man, and I feel like they gave us the best product possible. And more than any other anime I've seen, no other anime had me on Saturday night. I don't give a fuck what I'm doing. I got to come home and watch it before I go to bed. I got to watch it as soon as it dropped. Like I just had to watch it. This is just one of them shows I just had to watch it. I was so excited. Once we got to the fight at the end, as Ethan, I was in the group chat waiting. Like every week I was ready to talk about it. I was ready to jump on it. There was no other anime besides Shangri-La Frontier. There's no other anime that I was looking more forward to more than Rotten Crimson. It had a grip on me. It lived rent free in my head 6 days a week. So yeah, man, that's my numero uno.
All right. Nice.
Matt, how you want to do this? Because we have the same number one. You want to tag team this together?
I could just take it away.
You want to take it away? All right. You take it away. I'll piggyback off you.
All right. It's freeing. There was no discussion. End of. You know what? Sean, sure, you can name 100 better. Fine. I could name 20, 30, 50, maybe even 50.
Oh, here we go.
But I don't give a fuck. It's subjective. Creative is subjective. Everyone has different tastes. But what I love about it that this is just the beginning. There is so much more to tell. And we got this much content for 28 episodes, and none of them felt like a chore. Like it feels like an adventure, whether it is the action or just like an R&R type of thing. Yeah, I agree with Stark. I wish I had more Stark instead of just being Fern's punching bag. It's funny, but I want to see more of that adventure side of it. I'm sure I know we'll get that with Gold in the City and such, but it's still, I still don't hate him. I just wish I had more of him. That's absolutely fair. I didn't really dislike any of the characters, even though no matter how long or how little we've seen them, like fucking Aura the Guillotine gets all these fucking fan hours. You know, she was only there for like a total of 20 minutes. Up to the point where she just kills herself.
Still hate Siri.
Well, that's it. She's, but it again. It feels like this is basically everything I look for in an anime, and this the storytelling, this the world building. I love this shit. That's why I got so invested in it, and the action is just a nice cherry on top, and the fact that Madhouse produced it. I think that made it a little bit better for me because I don't think I could see anyone else producing it better than them. So they were the right studio to pick it up. Brian, she's an ass. She's a bitch. I'm not gonna lie. She's an asshole.
I love it.
But there's also an endearing side of her. Like this is basically getting a second chance to do things over again because as elves are in this, emotionless, aromantic, asexual, just no concept of time. And she's slowly trying to understand that for people that are around her, like with Fern and Stark, because she was too late for her with Himmel. But now she gets a chance to do it over without being isekai. Like you think you have to get isekai to get a second chance in life. It's never too late to get a second chance in life. No matter how old or how young, whatever, there's always that chance. So, and that's what I got from the freaking character. She's actually doing it, even though she's 1,000 plus.
It puts things in perspective, really, because you know there comes a point in every person's life where you know there's something that makes you reevaluate your past, makes you reevaluate the things that you've done, the relationships that you've built or failed to build or failed to maintain or have maintained, and being able to like really have that eye-opening moment. It happens to everybody, and when you put that into perspective, it makes you want to, you know, I say often because I'm a prisoner of the past, and it's, you know, always wanting to go back, always wanting to rectify those things. And you know, for Frian, she can't rectify the time that she had with Himmel or any of her other party mates, but she can rectify it, you know, by growing within herself, which is all that her party mates ever wanted her to do in the first place, is see the beauty in the life that she's living, that with the people that she's living with, because there are plenty of things to be taken, plenty of things to appreciate. And she was definitely one of those people that never appreciated those things. And that happens, again, another thing that happens to everybody, where you don't appreciate the good times, you don't appreciate the good moments, the laughs, the joys, the pains, the struggles. For Frian, it was just another day. I'm just here, just gonna do whatever the fuck I want to do. But this story gives you purpose, and something that can give any person of existence a purpose in life is something that should be celebrated. And Frian is now on the journey of celebrating her purpose, and through that celebration, through that journey of understanding and finding herself and understanding the realities of human realities, it gives everyone else around her an even deeper sense of appreciation, of gratitude, of affection, and of adoration from that perspective. And that's a wonderful piece to be had from that section as well.
Yeah. But like I said, I can't call it like number one ever. Can't go greatest all time yet. But if they do finish it fully, it could be. It could be higher when it's all said and done. Now, no. But again, this is the beginning. And this was a fantastic start to what we will eventually get. So that's why it's number one for me. It's wherever I look for an anime, it had it, it delivered it. I had zero complaints.
To expound on that point of what it looked for in anime, this is, you know, to Starman's point of like people that like watch anime, that like Tolkien, you have to really look at it from what is anime. what does anime consist of? Anime consists of a ride that takes you on a journey where you get lost for the 25 odd minutes. You get lost in the journey. You feel encapsulated by the imagery and the story that's unfolding in front of the viewer. It gives you the things that you enjoy in other media, action, incredible scenery, incredible music, drama, laughter, understanding. Those are quintessential pieces to a premier anime, to a premier show. Freeing goes beyond just an anime, in my opinion. I think it's a wonderful show that, if you can withstand the pacing of the first 4 episodes, will reward you with something of a most pleasurable experience. You will never, ever, ever watch an episode of Freeing and ever feel like I could have done something better with my time. I didn't get anything from this. I wasn't entertained. Not once through this entire season can you ever say that you were not entertained. The entertainment value exceeded expectations in almost every single episode, from the incredible fights that happened, again, when they happened, the scenery, the musical composition. We've gone over this a billion times. I just know, from my side, Freeing was undoubtedly, unquestionably, undeniably number one. Just from, like I said, that battle scene where we have Fern and Freeing versus, Clay Freeing, and just the imagery of having the image is striking because it is literally within the universe that you live in. You are in an enclosed space. This enclosed space is the immediate world. In your immediate world, there is action unfolding, the likes of which looks like a super collider. It is literally what death and destruction for the end of the universe may look like in time. It is literally unfolding within this small space, this small microcosm of the universe unfolding before you. And you can lose yourself in so many respects from that particular battle scene. Even going beyond just the actual, benefits that you get from watching Freeing from an emotional and psychological standpoint. So, I mean, when you think of what is anime, what is good entertainment, what is good media, Freeing is the absolute, I wouldn't say the peak of good media, but it is quintessential to what is good media. I cannot stress that enough for people. Freeing Journey Beyond End is simply fantastic media and is worth every single second you invest in it. And again, like to Matt's point, I cannot wait. And it may be a while, and that is very unfortunate. But in the same regard, maybe it's a good thing that it is going to take a while, because you have set such a high precedent and it is such an amazing story, to take the time to deliver it in the way that it needs to be delivered. You cannot rush it. We don't want it rushed. And as long as this continues, this will be on that path that Matt said, to one of the absolute greatest anime that has been produced, at minimum, bar none, at minimum of the 21st century as it currently stands.
Yeesh. Go Ethan. After that spiel right there, I question if we watched the same show. I didn't feel a fraction of that, but that's okay. It's not about me and how I feel. It's just after you named it down, I was just like, damn, was I watching the same show? That shit did.
Oh, you were just sharing pictures. That's it.
No. I did enjoy about the show the most was the art and how it inspired the fans and all the fan art Fridays, Freedom Fridays. I really loved that. I enjoyed that. To me, that was my favorite experience from the whole show, was the fans making art about the show. Like, it was any given episode.
But that's another piece of anime. What is anime? Anime transcends the viewing experience. It makes you go out, want to read the manga. It makes you go out, question things, have dialogue with people. It makes you want to go out and see the actual visuals and come up with your own ideas and represent that out.
People remix and you know what I'm saying, was like, yo, bro, I want to look at feet and armpits. Okay, whatever, but what I get, no, I'm not disputing nothing you said, because you know what I'm saying, like that's your experience. I'm not gonna dismiss your experience. Freedom was cool. It made my top 5. I had to give it top 5 based off of like, no, bro, this is a well-produced show. People loved it for a reason. You know what I'm saying? And it was flat. It was flat most of the show, but when it was great, it was exceptional. You know what I'm saying? But when it was flat, which is cool. I gotta circle back to Dangers though before we go. Did y'all do, in y'all opinion, Danger swept the whole? It swept like
everywhere. Yeah.
I personally, after reading comic sections and getting on Reddit, I have an undeniable. I can't call it proof. But I undeniably know now for a almost fact that, okay, so y'all conspired together to make this shit number one. That was a consolidated effort.
I certainly believe that there is significant conspiracy to make it number one. That doesn't make it not worthy of number one on its own merit. I just think that it kind of taints it a tiny bit with that knowledge.
That's the question. The question I'm asking is: was the number one? It won so many categories on Anime Trending and Anime Corner. It won so many, and one I think it won 9, and the other one I think it won 12 or 15.
It won 13 on Anime Corner.
So my question is, do you think that was just a conspiracy of fans saying we're gonna vote on both of these sites and make sure this shit is number one, considering Freerun could have still been nominated but couldn't even crack it, and all other exceptional shows?
I feel like that's way too much effort to get it on all.
I don't doubt anime fans. Some anime fans are fucking weird.
That was out, like, without a question of a doubt. Even on the episodes of Dangerous, when it was just like, bro, you didn't even really do nothing this episode. It was like 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. It was just like, damn. Like,
to me, there's two sides of the coin, right? So from what I gather from this panel here, we gave points to longevity and continuity and substance of the show. You don't get the same substance from a 12 episode series like you do a 24. It's why we rated Ragna fairly high, we rated Apothecaries fairly high, and we rated Freehan fairly high, unanimously amongst the three of us. All three of those shows made our 10 at bar minimum, and many of us made it into our 6, 5, and so forth. So you have that perspective of where we give points to longevity, but in the same degree, I think Chris said it unintentionally, but makes sense. When you look at a 12 episode series, out of all the 12 episode series, which is the standard, 12 to 13, 11 to 13 is the standard that you get in a season, right? The last 3 months, you get 3 months worth of content. For 3 months worth of content solely on that piece, Dangers is worth its merit to be the number one anime of the winter season itself, notwithstanding the longevity aspects of Freehan being 28 and Apothecaries and Ragna being 24 respectively. So from that perspective, you can look at it where they are discrediting the fact that it is a dual cooler series and only focusing on 1 through 12. You're looking at weeks 1 through 12, and they're disregarding the fact that Core 2 is also under that 1 through 12 factor, because of the fact that you already have prerequisite from the previous season, and they're discrediting that aspect as well.
Had a second season, not a second core. That's how it was able to, do what it do. Even though it was consecutive, I thought that was pretty slick for them. Like, nah, bro, this is the second season.
Plus, I think even with if there is or not a conspiracy, I still think it would have won regardless. Because if you look at outside of the 2 core ones, the ones that carried over. Like, you got like Classroom, Time, 7th Loop, Solo, Times, like some of them, like, it just didn't fully hit with a lot of people.
Last season, it was Freerun, right? And when, it just kind of feels like, okay, we got Freerun to overtake Full Metal Alchemist. Now let's just get this show. No other show has ever had number one in all these categories for the entire season. Let's make that happen. And
it's a unified effort of the demographic as well. The demographics for
I read comments of people talking about this is the plan. Like, so this is not like I'm assuming something. It's like, bro, I've read comments where people were like, no, bro, like the plan is to get this shit number one. It's gonna be number one all week because that is the plan. It was planned. I seen Reddit forums where it was like, no, bro, This is the plan. The plan is to get this shit to number one.
As much as it leaves a sour taste in my mouth hearing that, in the same regard, I think you can also look at it from the positive aspect of this series. This serialization has such a strong backing because of what it means to those particular readers that they want to see it visualized before them. And this is like we always talk about it. What gets an anime another season? Popularity, sales, and how it affects the community. And Dangers in My Heart unquestionably affects the community in a positive light. Therefore, galvanizes those people to make those decisions and come up with those ideas and plans to make sure that the shows that they enjoy the absolute most get their due diligence. So from that vein, that's not a bad thing from that piece. But I mean, there's many factors to look at from that perspective. I get the idea of your question, though, is the conspiracy. Does that devalue it? Does that make you feel a certain type of way regarding that? So it's a mixed bag, in my opinion, from that perspective.
Their Brotherhood fans have been downvoting any show that gets close to the number one spot for years. So
Yeah, I
you
mean,
take it on your own like merit on what you decide as what you think this show should be.
No. I just felt there was a question. I was just curious
I
about.
feel like with a Dangers in My Heart, like
I rated it high.
yeah, I feel like
I think that's way too much planning with like thousands and thousands of people. I think
anime fans are weird and creepy, dude. Like they have no other time. A quarter of anime fans are virgin losers in a basement. Keep it real.
And like half of them wanted to ninja run into fucking Area 51.
Yeah, people want to run in Area 51. So yeah, you telling me you can get a group of people online to like, hey man, we want to get this animated number one. And it's not that I say, when people I ain't saying people can't love it or one deserving. It's just I just question the merit behind
I still think it would have won regardless. That's the thing.
It would have won several categories.
That's really what I was looking for. Okay.
Not full sweep, dude.
It probably would have gone down in a couple weeks, but I think overall the grand scheme of it still would have won.
Overall anime number one, 1000%. I can see it. Some of the categories though, like they voted Kana, for example, as best supporting girl. That's a falsity. I mean, run down the list again. There's a couple of them, bro. There's no way that would.
I was like, oh, so his sister is best girl? What the huh?
Yeah, no, like
she was best supporting and main for the same character, and I'm like, bro,
she probably shows up for screen time combined most 2 episodes. If you combine all her screen time, probably no more than 2 or 3 episodes that she combined.
I just feel like the fans really and the shout out to the fans, and I think that was more about the fans saying, let's stand up for this because I think the fans showed out. Solo Leveling fans couldn't do what Dangers in My Heart fans did.
Yeah, they could have been like, maybe.
I felt like that was a lot of effort and love.
I was expecting a solo sweep, if I'm being honest, but the
hype it did when it came out the gate. I really thought it was too, but it's nothing could stop Dangers and even Freeran and all the hype it got. It was just like, wait a minute, you're getting squashed. So Freeran is getting squashed by the seasonal repeats that's out and the new shows, and it's not even cracking what it cracked last season. Even though I felt like the second curve Freeran was better than the first one. Right. So I'm like, wait a minute, Freeran's second curve Freeran has gotten better than the first season. The first season, it was a lot of episodes. I was just watching it just to get through the episode. Season 2 was a little bit more interesting. So to see that and to see it not crack, and then Ubell comes out of nowhere and it's like, yep, we got a new girl. Let's just throw her up to number one and throw out these memes. So I'm just looking at this shit like, okay. And then as quickly as that happened, Ubell started to crack. She got as high as number 2. Them fans from Dangers was like, no, bitch, know your place. Push that shit back down.
Yeah, we don't want the sexy girl that kills people. We want the 13-year-old girl. That's so and unconscious.
But I mean, it was fun talking to y'all about this tonight. Getting this laid out. I don't want to keep nobody too much later.
Yeah, we're gonna wrap it up here. I think.
Oh, we're not doing springs. Well, we're not gonna go through Chris's 40.
32.
I gotta get up in like a few hours from now.
The only thing that's important is Girls Band Cry, even if you have to pirate.
There we go.
Oh my god.
Yeah, if you guys want, if you want to run them real quick, run them real quick.
I'm at 22, 24 at this stage. So, you don't want to run through yours, Matt? If you don't want to run through yours, I'm not gonna run through mine. I think
I'm
it's
at 12.
Go ahead. So, tell me 12.
Spice and Wolf, A Condition Called Love, even though I ain't watched it yet. How to Love Your Elf Bride. How to Love Your Elf Bride is a dope show. I really like that show. That was
It's
one of my
really
favorite
good.
premieres of the past
It's
week.
what I was telling you about, Matt. Your silver-haired elf that's gonna beat
Yes,
out.
How to Love Your Elf Bride was one of my
Not
favorite
anymore.
premieres. My favorite. You know what? Fuck the bullshit. The favorite premiere that wasn't Spice and Wolf was fucking Windbreaker. I'm gonna thread Windbreaker.
That was really fucking good.
Amazing. Windbreaker first episode was the best episode I watched all of last week. I'm being biased on Spice and Wolf. I'm telling you now, when we do Spring Awards, Spice and Wolf is gonna win every fucking award that I can give it. I'm gonna just give it to it.
So character, the genre.
Don't worry. You're not the same with that bias. That's mine with Girls Band Cry.
Best girl, best waifu, best this, best. I'm giving Spice and Wolf gonna get every award I can nominate it for.
Matt, what are we doing anymore?
Jellyfish Can't Swim at Night was dope. Jobless Reincarnation. I haven't started it because it's not dubbed. Vampire Dormitory is gay as shit and it's funny as hell. And I'm gonna make up my mind whether or not I'm gonna keep watching this shit because the premise is fucking hilarious.
I love Oron Vampire. It's great.
Bro, it's Oron. I was like, okay, so y'all just took Oron and remixed this shit with vampires. I was like, okay.
Yeah,
everybody thinks this is a boy and they like the boy, but the boy is actually a girl. And I'm like, man, do I want to watch this shit? I don't know. I ain't made up my mind yet because that's typically once you kind of venture in that territory, I'm out, bro. Once that shit smell like yaoi, I'm out. I'm just like, I don't know, bro. You treading across the line. I don't like to swim in, so I'm gonna make my mind up.
Bro, the yaoi of the season though is gonna be what's it called? Tadaima Okari.
Oh, that's all you, bro. I'm good.
Bro, Matt's seen it. He loved it. And
It was cute.
Yeah, you keep that one.
Vampire Dormitory. We'll see how that go. Go Loser Ranger. I'm so excited about that one. That one leaves me fucking pumped. Konosuba just dropped today, but it's not dubbed, so I'm not gonna watch it. And Kaiju number 8 drops Saturday. Can't wait.
Go on, Chris.
All right, so we're going with Konosuba season 3. I've already seen 2 episodes with Matt.
We did. It was fucking great.
Oh
yeah, those 2 leaked. Yeah, man.
I don't know if the dub's leaked, but the sub is. Demon Slayer season 3 when it comes out. Slime Isekai season 3 when it comes out. Midshoku Tensei season 2 part 2. Episode 1 did great with the bringing it a little up from mid, but like I'll have to wait and see. Mahoka Irregular at Magic High season 3. Spice and Wolf. Whisper Me a Love Song. Ranger Reject. So I prefer that name than Go Loser Ranger. Condition Called Love, Unnamed Memory, Windbreaker, God's Game We Play, Mission Yozakura Family, Duke of Death Season 3. And I'm already disappointed. They had 2 fucking songs in the first episode. God fucking damn it. Archdemon's Dilemma, Level 2 Cheat Isekai, Girls Band Cry, Goat of the Year, Jellyfish Can't Swim at Night, Ji-san Ba-san, Blue Archive, Mysterious Disappearances, One Roomed Angel, Vampire Dormitory, Stay You Radio, which I just added, Dragon Raja, which I just added. They're both good for the first episode. Viral Hit, which is great so far. Karasu wa Aruji, which I haven't seen yet. Record of Train to the End of the World. Good, solid 2 episodes. Trippy as fuck. You should watch it while on something. I don't know. I don't do that. Astronaut. It gave me Kawaii vibes, so I'm good for that. Mixed with Galaxy Next Door. Banished Former Hero, which I might be dropping. It doesn't seem so good. The only the only thing that's interesting is the scumbag family of main character. Remonster, which is pretty good. And Grim Variations, which comes out whenever. 32.
Yeah.
all right.
Good old 32 anime.
That sounded like fucking word vomit, but it fits. It fits for the show.
Yeah, Konosuba, that was great. Mushoku Tensei, good start. Spice and Wolf, loving it so far. Jellyfish, Can't Swim, Can't Dance at Night. I'm enjoying it.
We finally got subs on High Dive for it.
Yeah. Too bad the subs took like the next day to go
What
up.
had issue with subs with what show?
Jellyfish. The subs didn't come out for like a day. Like the
No,
day it
I
came
got
out,
subs. I watched that shit an hour after it came out, and I had subs.
We
both
didn't have
both
subs on
people
ours.
that couldn't get the subs on.
I
Like
watched
they
it
weren't.
today. It was fine, but it's been a few days.
That's
Obviously,
crazy. I watched that shit like an
Yeah,
hour.
other people had that issue too. Yeah.
Cause y'all was in the comments saying it ain't no subs for it, and I was like bullshit, and I put it on, and I had subs, and I was like, oh okay.
Yeah,
we tried to pull
yeah,
out
we didn't have subs.
and-
There was a few other people online that didn't have subs.
I believe it, but
yeah.
I already messaged them about me not having subs. When they updated the app.
that's Crunchyroll though. This isn't High Dive.
No,
I've had the same problem.
the app has jellyfish. That's what they talking about.
Yeah, I know you mentioned Crunchyroll, but you said that's High Dive for both of them.
No, I email High Dive. I email all these motherfuckers and keep them on their shit.
But anyway, Duke of Death season 3, decent start. Girls Band Cry, love it. Bartender Glass of God, it's nice and relaxing. Train to the Other World, I'm intrigued. Condition Called Love, okay so far. Keeping Grandma, Grandpa, Turn Young Again, fucking, it's cute. It is cute. The Daima is another cute one. Our first Omega verse type anime, so let's go.
Verse.
Google it. It's too hard to explain.
Is that the thing with the alpha and the betas and the same?
Yeah.
I just know top and bottom. That's it. That's all I know.
Yeah, it's definitely just.
I know that. I fucking hate that I know that.
Mysterious. Well, you hang out with John, so.
No, I don't hang out with John. I know. Well,
That's true.
I don't know that from John.
Oh.
I know that from
Sure.
fucking, shit.
It's okay, Chris. You're a power bottom. We get it.
Mysterious Disappearances, Sayu Radio. Fable's okay. That'll be a free episode rule. Demon Midslayer season 4. My Hero Academia season 7. It's no need. It just should have been a fucking movie. I'm sorry. Milking that shit. Come on.
Should have been a movie.
Misfit, Demon King Academy, Part 2.
Fuck, I forgot to have that.
Yeah, and Whisper Me a Love Song.
Right. Going in reverse order: Demon Slayer, My Hero, Whisper Me a Love Song, Kaiju number 8, Misfit Part 2, Mysterious Disappearances, Seiyu Radio, Konosuba, Tadaima Okari, Unnamed Memory, Mushoku Tensei, Vampire Dormitories, Duke of Death, Fable, Jellyfish, Astronaut, Slime Season 3, Condition Called Love, Bartender, Spice and Wolf, Studio Apartment, and then I have Tsukimichi carrying over, and then we have to finish Sandland and Ninja Kamui as well. I'm so behind, guys. Originally we were gonna start like we normally do on a Tuesday or a Wednesday. I am so far. I've only watched 2 of the new shows. No, I've watched like 4. I watched the first episode of Spice and Wolf, first episode of Bartender, first episode of Jellyfish, and I think that is it for me that I've seen. Oh, and Angel Good Lighting. I thought Angel Good Lighting was pretty cute. Love the shit out of Jellyfish. I didn't cry, but that really made me unusually like in my feelings about the circumstances surrounding that. So I can't wait to see that. Bartender, I adored since I go to the bar every week. There's something that hit different with that. I liked it very much. And then Fable was okay. I'm also on the 3 rule with that as well from that perspective. The only other one I think that I may drop is Unnamed Memory. I need to drop at least 2 so I can keep 20 because I want to keep my list at 20 just because that's the max analyst will allow you where you can see everything all encompassing. So I need to drop at least 2 anime this season. So far Fable and I believe Unnamed Memory that I haven't seen yet are on that like short list, but TBD on everything else.
TBD.
Yeah. So we'll be recording next Friday, Matt.
Yep, we'll be recording next Friday. With that, the cafe is closed. You can follow me on Twitter at DamonPhoenix12. Follow Ethan at Anime Showstopper24. Sorry, I was asking 24 for the Instagram. Showstopper24 for the Twitter. Follow Chris at Chris Zipper, CRYSCEPHYR. Follow Starman at AKA Starman. Check out his album, Who's Gonna Hold the Camera, on your music platforms. We want to thank Sean, our editor. Also follow our Twitter at Otaku Cafe Anime. We got some link tree for listening to your favorite podcast, whether it's on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, iHeartRadio, or just even on YouTube for the audio or visual.
Should I just delete our Instagram because you don't even do anything with it?
Yeah, sure. It's
Awful.
I know.
Awful.
I'm trying to not use social media. But anyway, we want to thank W2 Network and Chairshot Radio for hosting on their platforms. Follow them at W2 Network and at Chairshot Media. Always use your head. We'll be back next Friday for various spring first impressions. And with that said, oyasumi and good night.
One more thing, two more things actually. One, we had a combined, I believe, 20 something users between both streams. Thank you so much to the 20 plus people that watched us during this 5.5 hour session, almost 6 hour session. Much obliged. You guys are troopers. We appreciate the fuck out of you. And Chris and Starman, thank you so much for joining us this evening and taking time out of your busy lives to come and shoot shit about anime for 6 hours. We appreciate the fuck out of you. I will probably be using you guys as my replacements in between the seasons since I've got so much and life gets in my way because I'm terrible with time management. So I look forward to your continued support and love, as does Matt, as we continue on with our current and future endeavors here at Otaku Cafe. With that said, sayonara minasan.
The sun goes to sleep, I find myself in a heap because it hurts so much to be away from you. It makes my day when I get a text from you, but still I say goodbye again. Let's hope this isn't the last time that I see your face, but hey, it's fine. I know everybody needs a little space. There's no one to blame. Goodbye again. Let's hope this isn't the last time that I hear your voice, but it's your choice. I can't keep you here forever. Just promise me that you'll come back.